The safest place to be at war is on a ship.
Yeah?
I'm not going to lie. It's on a ship.
It's on a ship.
You can't touch a carrier.
BMW started
that.
making plane
Like
engines,
that,
and then they got into cars. That's why I asked him, like, is there a reason? Is that the reason why you like BMWs as well?
It all tied in.
What's the longest that you've been at sea before you touch land again?
98 days. They call it one beer day.
One beer day.
After 90 days, they give you the cheapest, nastiest beer. Like no
and
name.
it probably tastes delicious.
Oh, it was the best beer I've had in my life. You know, loved one sends you like a care package, and it's like, wow, that's like Christmas. The first time you ever experienced Christmas, man. Everyone in the Navy has to be a firefighter.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Down Podcast. Today in the studio, we have a guest, Jose Prosper, Navy veteran, current FDNY Fire Marshal. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the Burn Down.
Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate that. This is special.
And shout out to Nikki Needles, who's sitting in the corner over there.
Yes.
Making the connection.
The introduction here.
The introduction.
And so facto, the firefighter she was talking about in our episode is in the studio right now.
Studio right now.
He's like,
That's me.
He's like,
wait
you told
a
him
second.
that?
I didn't listen to that episode.
What the hell are you talking about? Why are you telling people I have high test?
I have a physical therapist and I have a health therapist, and she's the health therapist.
It's always good to have one of those in your corner.
Absolutely.
It has its pros and cons, because then sometimes you want to lack a little bit. They're kind of on your butt.
These are our physical therapists right here.
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
it.
Yeah, she doesn't let me slack.
This
so
is my
it's like-
this is my mental therapist right here.
That's it.
She has a needle for everything, so it's
Got to watch out for those. You never know when it's gonna be poking out.
Yeah, she has
It could
a
be.
needle for
It might be injecting shit in, but it could also be sucking some shit out. You don't know.
We don't
You
want
better
that.
Be careful. Okay?
So we appreciate Nicole for getting you on here on the podcast. Our first FDNY. You know, we always want, appreciate former law enforcement, any kind of first responder. So thank you for your service in the Navy.
And just for
FDNY.
you, we had blue for the Navy, red for the FDNY. Just
specifically for
Oh,
you.
wow.
Just for you
Okay.
guys,
I just bought that. Yeah.
We
Thank
knew you were
Appreciate
coming on
that.
years ago, and we said, let's get this ready.
So these are
Jose.
cigars. The blueprint was the first one, and the diligence the next one. And it just
Well, I'll
happens
try the
that
red
it's,
next.
That it's
Navy
exactly.
was first. So
Navy
I'll
was
do it.
first, right?
Navy was first.
And
so
you did just have a nice big fat meal, so I think that that's probably the better choice.
This compliments.
That would have been the before the meal cigar. So
Were you smoking cigars when you were in the Navy?
No. Actually, smoking cigars came later on in life.
were you ripping
Later on
cigarettes
in
in the Navy?
I used to smoke. Yes, I used to smoke cigarettes in the Navy. But then I wasn't like a pack a day, 2-pack a day smoker. I was like a pack a week smoker. I was more like the supply guy.
Gotcha.
You got a cigarette? Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
I was that guy.
Okay.
I didn't care about the smoke. Sometimes I was just smoking stale cigarettes, and they were like, "What are you doing smoking this?" I go, "I thought it was just smoke."
You just,
trying to pass time.
We got a long way on
Yeah,
this open waters, man. I
Yeah,
gotta kill time somehow.
What am I gonna
man.
do? Throw it out? I mean, so it's for me it was a bad habit, but it was just something to do. So,
I feel like a lot of military that are deployed, I feel like they smoke cigarettes. I mean, I know, maybe not now, but I know, like, I have family members, like my uncles and stuff that were in Vietnam, and they're like, we used to smoke cigarettes all day long when you're over there.
Right. Well, back then when I was on, it was like everything else. Like you could smoke in bars, you could smoke in your house, you could smoke everywhere. So it was that. Now it's a little bit different. You have your designated smoke areas, but outside the United States, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
cigarettes are the thing.
Oh, if you go to Asia, they even like little kids, it's like 10 years old, they're smoking cigarettes.
Asia, the Middle East,
it's wild.
They're smoking something.
My grandfather.
Now, I don't know if they're the same cigarettes that are over here. They might
No
just be
filter.
like, there's no filter. It's just straight tobacco. It's like it's like a cigarello, I guess. But
My grandfather served in the Navy as well in the 50s, and he's still alive today. He's 85, 86, but he smoked cigarettes maybe until like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's still healthy as an ox. He always says, like, I never thought I would live past 25.
it's a different breed, man.
Yeah, different breed.
Different breed.
Different breed indeed. Different indeed. But Jose, we got you in the studio. We want to know more about you. The people want to know more about you. So I got some printouts here. I did some research. I Googled you, as you said.
I see.
But before I even ask you questions, let's understand a little bit more who you are. I think you're a Brooklyn native, right?
Brooklyn native, Bushwick, Brooklyn, born and raised. Didn't really venture out of Brooklyn until I joined the Navy. And
Gotcha.
Once I joined the Navy, then I started exploring the rest of New York. And
Now, how long were you in the Navy for? When did you join? When did you get out?
I joined May of 1989, and I got out active in April of 93.
And how old were you when you joined?
17.
Joined 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was the Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before that.
That was
right
before?
Yeah.
Wow.
So hold on. So you said your mother had to put you in.
Yeah.
Were you a little bit of a wild child?
I wasn't. My brother was. So it was more of a
preemptive or a preactive.
It was
Right,
before he gets into any trouble.
Yeah.
before you follow, do this, And I was heavy into like comic books, and I was heavy into like planes and stuff like that. So when I went to the recruiter, it's funny. You're joining the Army. I was like, okay, whatever, So we go there, and the Army guy was out to lunch. The Marine guy was out to lunch. The Air Force guy was out to lunch, but the Navy guy ordered in.
So you're like, wait a second.
I guess I'm going with this guy.
Yeah, so I'm walking down the hallway, and it's like, okay, all these rooms are empty. I guess we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And then when I walked into his office, they had this gigantic photo of Top Gun.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
Now
that movie definitely just
Inspired you?
Like basically the cornerstone of my entire life was that movie.
Wow.
So I was like, he was like, oh, so what do you want to do? I said, fix them or fly them. He was like, I got the perfect job for you, which was nothing. Got me cold-hearted, nothing. I went in with
young 17-year-old, ready to do whatever, and just listen to whatever.
I
Yeah,
went
'cause you
in
don't
with
know-
no
I mean,
job,
yeah.
no nothing.
Senior in high school, like, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. So he was like, yeah, I got something for you. So, he started drawing up the paperwork, and I loved BMWs, and he picked me up the day we were going to take the ASVAB test. He picked me up in this 1989 brand new silver.
Now, did you
BMW.
now? So I have a question. I have a question. No, so I have a question for you now. Now, do you like BMWs? It's interesting that you like BMWs and you like planes as well, because BMW started
That's how it all came in.
making
It all
planes.
tied in.
So
It
is
all
that
tied in.
is that a reason why?
Propellers.
Like,
They made
yeah,
propellers,
that's why.
yes.
You know the BMW logo?
Yeah.
That's a propeller. That's what a propeller looks like. That's why it's like a thing, and it's white and white and
it's
blue and blue.
four sections. Okay.
It's
Right.
propeller against
The
blue
white
sky.
is the propeller. The blue is the sky.
Wow.
Because
I never
BMW
knew
started
that.
When
making
it's
plane
things like
engines,
that,
and then they
yeah.
got into cars. That's why I asked him, like, is there a reason? Is that the reason why you like BMWs as well?
It all tied in. It all
that's
tied
pretty
in.
cool, man.
So
That
I'm
is
I'm
cool.
gonna connect the dots.
So he
now,
likes
so.
the plane engine cars, right? Like the plane engine company.
I always said if I were to join the military, it would have been the Navy, because I always thought do you travel a lot? I'm assuming in the Navy.
Whether you want to or not.
Yeah, right?
You're
Okay.
traveling.
Yeah, I always
They
thought
put
that
you-
would have been the coolest the branch to join.
It also it depends on the job too.
Because what
So-
you were a jet mechanic?
Jet mechanic, yeah.
Okay.
It depends on the job. I mean, if you're there's some jobs that require you be shore duty, they call it, and then there's some jobs. Most
So
of the
is that
jobs
like
is
well?
like out at sea.
I've heard about that too. Like if you're over a certain height, you can't join you can't go on the submarines.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
because you can't fit. You're too tall, right? Is that true?
the submarines back then, yes.
Yeah.
Submarines.
Like
back
if you
then
like,
was-
because I heard about it for some of the basketball teams. Like when growing up playing basketball, all right, where do you want to go for basketball? And somebody had said something like, oh, well, if you go into the military, because the West Point was recruiting me at the time, and that's the Army. They're like, oh, well, if you go into the Naval Academy, some of the guys that are like 7-foot centers,
Yeah.
they can't go into. They can only go to certain jobs. They
it
can't
was
go
more
there.
of an unwritten rule. It was more like they'll look at you and be like, "Nah, you ain't."
Yeah,
doing
you
it."
ain't going. Okay, so it's not a matter. It's not that you
No.
can't, but they're like, yeah, it's probably not the best.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you do go, you're gonna spend years just always
Yeah, it's
punch
gonna be
that is down.
terrible.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not. It's about this height, but there's so many pipes and ventilation systems running through the
Yeah.
ceiling.
and the
that
beds, all
that's
the
what
beds are
makes
like
it-
little freaky.
Those were the worst.
I mean, you go
Yeah,
into New
well,
York
how
City.
the hell are you gonna fit on that? You can be like curled up in a little
What's
ball.
the battleship in New York City? You do that little tour in there, and you see how small
yeah.
the beds
Yeah.
were. I look at it, I'm like, how the fuck? I'm 6'2". How the fuck?
And
am
all
I
the
fitting
doors,
there?
right? Like
I think
all the
jail
doors.
had better beds than.
Yeah, I would
than
think
the
that-
Navy,
it looks like that.
It's a shame too. You'd think that we take care of our military a little bit.
I don't
better
think
than
guys
that,
back then
you
really
know?
complained in the 50s and 60s. And
They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, that's true.
There was
too.
the draft.
Yeah.
There was
once,
no.
once you sign your name, you have no choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You're
You're
a
in.
tool. At that point, once you sign your name, you're a tool. You're a weapon, and they use you accordingly. So
Did you
had to
work
accept
on?
that.
What was it called? The Tomcat, right?
Tomcats,
was-
F-14s.
Is that what you worked on?
F-14 Deltas?
Oh,
yeah.
I have some of the stickers, the F-14 stickers with the little cat on
Those
it.
are the best.
Because my father, like I was telling you earlier, him and my father worked together. So my dad's first job was at Grumman, and he was an engineer. He worked on those fighter jets. So he still, I think, the Tomcat, right?
The Tomcat.
So he still has stickers.
That's the nickname, but it's actually an F-14.
Okay.
So they're different.
Now they have what's the F-22s? Is there one more higher than that?
F-22 Raptors and the F-35s.
Crazy.
Those things. You see those things, dude?
Yeah, once you're in, you kind of like always try to follow.
Yeah, for sure.
All the aircraft and stuff like that.
Those
but
things
it's like those
wicked.
things. You put me in front of one now. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what's that.
Yeah.
It's probably completely different, right?
Way different.
Well, it's probably
way
like
different.
Top Gun 1 and 2 when he goes into the new airplane.
No, but they did use F-18s, and when I was, they were phasing out F-14s. Like my first year in, they were phasing them out to bring in the F-18s, and then the F-18s were slowly becoming the dominant.
Now, did he
aircraft.
actually? I heard he does all his own stunts. So did he actually fly?
Yeah, he did.
Those F-18s in the movie.
That was the only way he did movies. The only way he does movies is
his own stunts.
Yeah, but I didn't know if he was even allowed to, because that's a military aircraft, and don't you need a special?
Tom Cruise is a wild guy, but
he has his pilot's license.
He has everything.
He's got every license under the sun.
like there's that one scene where he's like on the side of an airplane
That's
when
Mission
it takes
Impossible.
off.
He
Yeah,
did that.
and
Yeah, he
that
really
was
did that.
fucking for real.
There's another scene where he jumped across a building and he broke his ankle. That scene.
Because Tom Cruise is a fucking crazy guy, but he's
God
like the
bless
real.
him.
Yeah, he's
God
like the
bless
true.
him,
He's a true last like American actor because he does everything.
I wonder what his testosterone is.
Yeah, you know what?
It
Let's
gotta
get
be,
Nikki
right?
to give him a test and
give
see
him
what
a
the
test,
fuck that
yeah.
is looking like.
Dude,
But anyway,
double mine.
Yeah.
So you go into the Navy, right? You said you went into 89. You got out around 93. Is what you said?
93. Yeah.
93. So then what was it like when you get out? Because I imagine you went in at 17, and now you're coming out.
Well, before that, what was your favorite part of being in the Navy serving? Like, what's a great story that you?
Let's do that. It's a
Being
good question.
out at sea.
Yeah.
Being out at sea. It was. You could go on vacation. You go to all these fancy places, and you see the sunsets. And there's no sunset like in the middle of the Indian Ocean. There's no sunset. Right
so now, where did you sail?
Atlantic Ocean
All the way around the world? Have you seen pretty much?
No. My ship, the Abraham Lincoln, was like a brand new ship, so we commissioned it. So if you're commissioning it, you're actually the first original crew of that ship. So you're what they call a plank owner. So in November of '89, the Abraham Lincoln, the second nuclear carrier that came out, that was Abraham Lincoln. So
you were on a ship that had nuclear missile on it?
No, nuclear powered.
Oh, I thought you said nuclear carrier. I'm like,
yeah.
you carried.
Yeah, there's conventional. The conventional carriers are ones that are diesel engines, 4 gigantic diesel engines, and then there's your nuclear reactor.
So you're basically sailing on a nuclear reactor. So if shit hits the fan,
basically, you're all going
to be bricks of concrete.
You're protected by water. Water is the barrier. That
you got it. Yeah, you have to sink it, right? Like or flood it. What they say, right?
You have to flood it.
You have to flood it.
It's push of a button. That thing goes right.
But then everybody else is going down.
Oh yeah. Like I said, in the military, you're a tool and a weapon.
Yeah. So you're saying that you're out in the middle of like the Indian Ocean, and there's no land whatsoever?
Miles of
like
no land.
Like you're literally in the middle of the ocean.
Really in the ocean.
Yeah. I got a short glimpse of that because I went deep sea fishing off of Rhode Island or Cape Cod, and it was the first time ever. We were out on the water like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was the first time ever we were out there. I saw the moon and the sun
at the same time.
Same time. It was the most bizarre. I'm sure you've seen it
crazy,
a million
right?
times,
It's
but
crazy.
It's like a crazy perspective because you see the moon going down and the sun coming up, and it's like wow.
The best memory I have was we're doing outside of Cuba. We were doing our qualifications because the ship has to go through its qualifications to be sea ready.
Okay.
So we're out there, and it was late at night. We just finished flight ops. So flight ops is like 18-hour days. Like you don't sleep at all, and you get your downtime. And we're around the ship is these gigantic steel nets. So if you fall overboard, you're falling into that.
Okay, so it's like a little safety, yeah.
Right. So
they have
like
those same nets out in like the sweatshops out in the middle of like Taiwan somewhere.
Yeah.
They jump out. They don't get. Yeah.
You know. Yeah, you're not.
That's fucking crazy.
You could one turn of the jet on the flight deck and you're gone.
Wow.
You're blown off.
Or if you get or if something like a cable or something gets like I've seen those on like the Deadliest Catch
the arresting cable.
Yeah, like something goes over and the cable gets your leg. You're gone.
You're gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
So I always got freaked because there's not many things I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of really high heights, but also open water. And I always see like the guys in the submarine, the submarine emerges, and they're like kind of jumping in the water and like in the middle. I'm like, man, you don't know what the fuck is out there, isn't that like?
Think about it. You've been in that boat for like
no, I get it.
Months. You see, you don't see water. You don't see. There's no windows. Yeah.
I mean, would you do that? Would you guys get out of the top of the submarine and just jump in the water?
They had like beach call. They call it like
beach
Steel
call.
Beach. You know, where it's been a long time after
Steel Beach, they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like Steel Beach. They lower one of the elevators. Like each carrier has like 2 gigantic elevators. They lower the elevator. I would say about maybe 10 to 20 feet off the top
and you
of the
can
water.
just jump in and like.
Yeah, then they have they put out these buoys and stuff. That's the safe area.
Yeah,
to swim.
So tell us about. So you said that there was this one time where you're out in the middle of off of Cuba.
Right, I'm with my
thing.
friends, bunch of 17, 18-year-olds. You know, we're all homesick, and we just start just laying down in it. Just lay down in it like a little hammock type thing. It's our downtime, and like to my left, you could see a storm, raging, thunder, lightning, just off, just in sight of normal eyesight, and on the other end, you see the sun coming up.
Crazy.
So it's like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
So it's so cool. I mean, at 17, 18, you don't see cool shit like that.
Definitely not being from Brooklyn, too.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You got to see a fire hydrant with water coming out of it.
What's the like? I can imagine that the like at night, how clear. Like, you feel like you can see.
You can't see shit.
No, I mean like just like the stars. Like if you're looking up, I feel like
Well, there's no white noise.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no white noise. You see
just see everything.
You see everything.
That's got to be unbelievable.
To the naked eye, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
To the naked eye, you could see just thousands of stars just right in front of you.
It's got to be like it's got to be like seeing the face of God, just being out there. Like
it's peaceful. It's peaceful.
just-
I mean, we are a warship. We're
no, but I'm saying like you're there for a reason.
That.
Yeah, then
And
that
then
comes back. You're like, all right, I could,
this
we
is
could
not
get
that
blown
bad.
up anytime, and we have, we're here for a job. But in your downtime, when it's peaceful and you kind of get those 10 minutes that you kind of forget where you are, has that happened?
That's about as accurate as you could say. Yeah, 10 minutes you just forget where you are and what's going on, and then somebody's coming and yelling at you, "Get out of there! Let's go, get back!"
Damn.
We
And you
got
like
back
live,
to work.
like kind of live for those little 10-minute blips of.
That's all you got.
You're not homesick at that point. You're just kind of you're just taking in. You're like, wow, this is amazing.
For me, like the moments like that, like we're doing right now, good people, good individuals, having good conversation. So it started. I would say it started.
Are you still friends with any of your buddies from?
Just gonna ask that question.
Facebook friends?
Yeah,
Facebook friends. I'm old.
I like.
Have you
I've
like
been
talked
around.
to any of them? Have you seen? Any
We
of them?
actually, my friend Wilson just Facebook messaged me, whatever it's called now, Messenger.
Yeah.
That his brother was hanging out with a good friend of his who's a firefighter, who knows me.
Wow.
So he sent me a picture and he was like, "Oh, I know that guy," and then he was hanging out with him and all that. So
You ever try to meet
literally
up with
like
any of
3
them?
days ago.
That's crazy.
You ever try to like meet up with some of those buddies you're hanging out in the hammock with?
Those guys I don't know where they are, but it was like you hang out with the guys that you were last stationed with. Like those guys were like my first station because after the Abraham Lincoln, it did its tour around South.
Do you remember
America
any of
and
their
all that.
names?
No.
I love
'Cause
those.
I've-
I love those videos you see of
I
like the
love those
guys
stories,
like
man.
it's like the guy served in Afghanistan for 10 years with his one buddy and they haven't seen each other and like the wife invites the friend up and he's like, "Honey, come get the groceries," and he's like around the corner and they're like, "Holy shit!" and like 2 grown ass men start blubbering together.
Yeah,
and
I
It's
love
a special. It's
definitely a bond,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah,
It's
it's a bond.
and that's what's really cool about
what
social
they call
media.
that, the warrior bond.
You could take that over there. You sure? Like the.
Well, you got the garbage. Just type that right
Yeah, you
there, boy,
just
right
type
in the
right in the
garbage.
garbage,
We-
But I that's the beautiful thing about social media is that we've always said that it's a blessing and a curse. Kind of depends on how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the curse where if you're just scrolling all day long, just like turning
get
your
lost. You
turning
get
your brain
lost.
into
Yeah.
mush.
Yeah.
But it can be used to locate. Like if you have a name, if you just have a name, you can locate this person, and they could be on the other side of the planet. Like you'd be like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me," and next thing you know, you guys can meet up. But you would have never had that 50 years ago. You would not be able to find his phone
No,
number and
not
make
at
a
all.
phone. Now you could just go on and search it on Instagram. If he's got a handle, bang, there he is. Facebook.
Yeah, I got
there.
over 1,000 friends on Facebook or Instagram, and I would say at least 15 are Navy buddies.
See, and that's
that's awesome.
Like you can,
and you see they pop up every once in a while, and you're like, wow, he's old.
Yeah,
and you can. And what's
wow,
crazy
look at that.
too is
he
like
got kids. He got no hair.
and you can
so
search. Like what's cool now is you can search on Facebook. The school, like if you went to high school that you went to, you can search the high school and have graduating class of
really?
88 or 89.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page.
You know,
for my
and
high
then you
school.
can see all those
That's
people. I'm
crazy.
like, oh fuck, I used to smoke cigarettes with you under the bleachers. How you been, man? Like,
Yeah, but you know what's cool too? The Veterans Association, they have a website where you can type in the unit name.
oh, that's cool.
And you could pop up a list of active, still alive, or passed away guys. They'll have like, who died list and who's
like
still
a eulogy
alive
type
list
of
and all
thing?
that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like who's still around, who's active.
Wow.
So I mean that was over 30 years ago. I was in the Navy.
So what's the opposite side of the question of the good times? What was like a scary moment? You're like, holy shit, what the fuck am I doing?
The scariest moment was we were out. We weren't an active warship yet. We were still in our stages, but they were going to. That's when we heard about the bombing in Iraq. The shock and awe.
Yeah.
And a lot of us were like, we ain't part of that. We're not. Those are those war guys.
Yeah, we're not war guys yet.
We're not war guys yet. But then, what they do back then was like temporary assignments, temporary duty assignments, TAD, temporary assigned duty, where they would send guys from my ship to active warships to get the experience.
Oh, so now you're like, who's gonna go? And you're looking at each other.
No, we were all going. We just didn't know when.
Didn't know when.
We were the first wave. The second
radio
wave,
call comes
third
over,
wave.
and you're like, shit. Who's?
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to that. So
You eventually went, obviously.
I got sent to the America
Damn.
for 3 months. So I was the beginning of. I was towards the end of Shield, because that was the first wave. Desert Shield, and then Desert Storm was the actual.
Shield was another piece of the war?
Shield was the beginning.
Okay.
The roundup. The mostly like it was more air attacks at that point, and then Storm was the land attack.
Wow.
So and we had to support the land attack. So I was like, that was scary.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That was scary. But it's on a.
What goes through your mind? Like, what do you think about?
Listen, the safest place to be at war is on a ship.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie, it's on a ship.
It's on a ship.
Where you can't touch a carrier. That's like the most illegal thing you can do. Another country could do is touch a carrier.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like you don't want that. That's the smoke you don't want.
So is that just like one of those unwritten rules of war?
No, that's probably the most strategic thing to do is take out a carrier, but it's literally impossible.
But if you do that, then you're a big target for retaliation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
America's very good.
I mean, it's like Pearl Harbor, right? Like they bombed the shit out of all those carriers, all those ships in America.
All the battleships. They
like,
basically destroyed up. And well, now you learn. That's a lesson learned. Like now you don't touch.
Well, I imagine like because
touch
the
a
carrier is what's you're carrying all of the
There's literally
everything.
And I'm American, right? So I'm patriotic, but there's no way, no force out there can come at least 250 miles
without being
immediately destroyed. I mean, we carry 80 plus planes, and it's not just war planes. You got electronic jamming planes, we got radar jamming planes, we have like these giant satellites.
So you can't come close.
You cannot.
Well, you guys ever do? You ever see Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson?
Yeah.
There's a scene in the beginning where they have the football, where they drag I guess like they drag the plane or they catch the plane with the tool,
right?
And they kick the football.
Arresting gear, they call it.
Okay, the arresting gear.
Yeah. You ever see a plane land on that thing? That is wicked. That is awesome.
Listen, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in over 30 years, and it still gives me like
how quickly that plane comes to a stop. And I've seen ones where they come down and they don't catch it, so they got to take off again.
Yeah,
because you have to. It's like a little thing that you have to land it, and it catches the.
You have to come in full throttle,
and it slows the plane down.
And it grabs it. Once you grabs it, then you got to put full brakes.
But if you don't grab it, you got to take off again, right?
Navy pilots are like.
If you don't grab it, you got to take off again and go around and come
immediately and try again. Yeah, but that's frowned upon, man.
Yeah, but the brakes too. Like you come to think about how much you're coming in full throttle, and how big is a aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
Right. Like you come to a complete stop in like the size of a football field.
Yeah.
Like complete stop.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, your head's just the G forces that you feel probably make me want to puke.
Missing the cable is like dropping a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's like that.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah,
Okay.
That's not something you want.
All right, that's good. I didn't know that.
Does it happen? Yeah,
Sure.
but that then you blame it on experience, like rookie pilots that they have to practice that and all that. So
That's just wild.
So did you guys? So my question was like, you guys ever? So they're like betting on if they can catch the football coming back to the wind. You guys ever do anything crazy like that? So they would like kick the ball up in the air. It would go hunt. Yeah, it's all movies, right? Okay, damn.
You guys have it, but you guys
you
have
throw anything on that flight deck while we're moving 30 knots. It ain't
gone.
coming back.
you guys
coming back.
You guys ever play like?
Damn it, Hollywood always deceiving me.
Well, let me ask this: you guys like try to play any sports or something on that?
Yeah. Listen, being in the military, especially on a ship for 6-7 months at a time, they try to make it as
You get creative on.
Yeah, they try to. There's volleyball, on the flight deck. I mean,
just try to play with
it. It has to be, but it's also they'll let you know. Well, the wind is too bad today. You can't play something like that.
You ever play and all of a sudden the ball goes? You're like, all right, game over.
Yeah.
There goes Wilson back into the Indian Ocean.
You ever play basketball and there's no back, and then you miss,
and the ball goes boom, boom,
and the
boom,
ball
boom,
just keeps going. Yeah,
all right. See you later.
I played basketball in
it's like
in
that.
like 30-mile-an-hour winds where you have to the basket's here, but you got to shoot over there. And if you shoot, if you forget and you shoot, the ball goes like fuck. All right, you got to run over there.
I mean, and the thing is, you got the ultimate sportsmanship, right? The ultimate thinking is, let's not fuck this up.
Yeah.
We got about a half hour. We're gonna play some good sports. We're gonna get some good energy out. Don't fuck it up. Don't be the guy that throws the ball.
You play football. You play football. Run game only.
Yeah.
No wide receivers. No tight ends.
Running plays only.
No throwing. No nothing.
Run play only.
So don't go get
don't
crazy.
fumble the ball either.
Yeah. Don't get crazy with the spike because that could go someplace else.
That's like playing backyard baseball and the ball goes into the crazy neighbor's ball and it's like the only ball you have. And it's like, all right, game over now. I can't play anymore.
That's it. So that's how they kept the rivalry between. Because there's so many departments, there's so many jobs on the.
How many people are usually on a aircraft, shipcraft like that?
No ships. I mean, no airplanes. You're talking about 2,500
with airplanes.
With airplanes, almost 5,000.
Damn, that's
like a little. The air wing. They call it the air wing. The air wing flies on.
And it's another 2,500 people. Come on,
their support group.
That's like a little civilian. That's like a civilization when it's on its own.
So it's floating city.
That's crazy.
Now, I only have a question. What's the longest that you've been at sea before you touch land again?
I would say it was 98 days.
98 days. Over 3 months.
Over 3 months. 1 beer day, they call it. 1 beer day.
1 beer day.
After 90 days, they give you the cheapest, nastiest beer.
And it probably tastes delicious.
Oh, it was the best beer I've had in my life. And I didn't drink beer. I actually just started.
Didn't matter.
I just started getting into beer, IPAs and all that. But that was and then if you didn't really drink like that, you sold it. You get $40, $50 for that 1 beer, man.
But it probably tasted so good.
It was so good.
Do you even remember what it was called?
Good. No.
Doesn't matter.
I know it was it looked like a Budweiser. It wasn't Budweiser, but it looked like a Budweiser can, the red and white and stuff like that. So
Pabst.
No, I just think of it like
nasty
from that movie Shawshank Redemption when they're on the top of the roof, tarring the roof.
Yeah.
And he gets the bucket of suds for the guys, and we don't give a shit what kind of beer it is. Because you're in prison, you're like, give me anything. I don't
anything
care.
with alcohol.
It could be non-alcoholic beer. It doesn't matter.
Every 90 days they called it a beer day.
Gotcha.
And so we just made it. But
it's
hot.
Days,
it's hot as hell.
So that's 4 months. Right?
Now was that with that
3.5 months?
3 months.
That was not. Did you even see land at all? That was just you didn't see land for it was just open water for 98 days.
Does that fuck with your head a little bit?
Yeah. Does that get with you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's why guys when they go over there they marry the first thing they touch when they get to these countries. That's why we get you go to like the Pacific side. Everybody brings home a Philippine or Chinese or something like that. Yeah, the guys is like, I love you. I love you a long time.
Like,
we love you a long time. I miss you.
That is true. That is so true, man. When you touch land like that, it's like some guys are just hungry.
They just.
Come on,
I feel like
you drop a bunch of 17, 18,
I
19 year olds
like it, man.
Young and full of what.
Listen, I mean,
alcohol, right?
Come on. Listen, I mean, we have the the TRT specialist over here. Speaking about you're 17, 18, you're at war, your testosterone levels are through the freaking roof, and you haven't seen a woman in God knows how long. You said
or a good cigar, or a good cigarette, or a good.
So that's funny. You say, so we actually we have a couple of through the network that we have. There's a guy that used to do, and actually our partner that sells Blueprints and Diligence out of Arizona, our online retailer. Shout out to Flying Cigars. They donate some of their profits to armed forces and to veterans and to military. But you can buy a box and curate a box and send it over.
Right.
So that
like a care package.
Like a care package of cigars, because we found like the guys love cigars, and we've had some guys said, "Hey, what was it like?" He goes, "When we get that box and you get a cigar."
I'll tell you, man.
Oh, they go, "You have no idea."
A care package is like your first Christmas all over again. You know, loved one sends you like a care package, and it's like, wow, that's like Christmas. The first time you ever experienced Christmas, man. You open up something, and there's so many, like, just you see
and
it
like
now.
the
You're
most
like
random thing.
mouthwash.
Yeah.
Mouthwash.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants mouthwash? I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he
You got that
said.
stale ass breath.
Yeah.
He said you
know?
send random shit, like you send like hand sanitizing wipes.
Yeah.
He said random shit like Skittles. He goes, everybody loves Skittles over there. He goes, I don't know why.
There's certain things that you can't get. And I'm talking to some buddies that are like, Army and Marines that are on land, like lollipops.
They just
you send a Marine or a or Army guy that's like in the shit, literally
a
in
lollipop.
country like that,
and it's just
those lollipops. You give them away to the locals, like it's like
really.
It's
See,
gold, man.
like
it's like chocolate.
Yeah, a little chocolate bar, man.
Chocolate outside of the United States, it might as well be gold, man.
Because I imagine you're probably eating the what do they call them, the MREs, the meal ready to eat. Is
not Navy. Man.
Not Army's probably eating
Army.
that.
Yeah. Navy, we have 4 meals a day.
Oh, so you were eating good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hot showers. Yeah. If you're gonna join the military, I'm telling you, I'm a shameless plug.
Of the Navy.
Join the Navy.
What about the Air Force?
There's like every job.
What about the Air Force? I heard the Air Force.
But
I heard the military shits on the Air Force. Like,
Chair Force.
I heard Chair Force. That's what I heard. And listen, no disrespect to any military. I give all of the credit to all of the armed forces, even if you're like
no, there's mad disrespect. You can be not disrespect.
That's what I'm saying. Like
guy,
within the military, like from the outside of the military, I was never in the military. I give the respect to anybody because you're sacrificing a part.
Oh, absolutely,
life, right?
absolutely.
Give respect to all of them.
Absolutely.
Merchant Marines too. I have a friend that was a Merchant Marine. Give respect to all of you guys. But within the military, I heard that they like
fuck them.
Like that's what I'm saying, Like you ever watch the Army Navy football games, man? They fucking hate each other.
Oh yeah, that's a natural hate, like the Winchester and who's that family that went to war all the time back in the Old West?
Family that went to war all the time back
in the Old West, the Winchesters and McCullens or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, he'll come to me. He'll come to me. But it's a good rivalry. It keeps the toes. Yeah. But the Navy, I believe the Navy has every job all the other forces have. We have our Air Force.
Yeah,
we're
Navy
sailors.
pilots.
We have our technicians and stuff. Also, we have our nuclear guys, and then our fighting force, we have the SEALs. We have,
Navy SEAls. Yeah.
We have the Navy SEAls.
Totally forgot about Navy SEAls.
So
Ray Kashkar.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine was actually the Blue Angel pilot. Friend of ours, family friend. Not anymore. Now he flies commercial for Delta, but
I would give it to the Air Force. They do fly more often than the Navy does. But a Navy pilot to land on a moving carrier like that, those.
Well, that's what they say. They say like out of all the Navy pilots are like the best pilots on the planet.
Yeah, they
because they can
Air Force might have more like combat experience, more like flying experience, doing more missions and stuff like that. But you throw a carrier in the middle of
that's hard, man. Especially and like 30 knots is.
You throw a carrier in a hot spot,
slow, man.
Yeah.
It's not slow.
No. 30 knots is almost like 40, 50 miles per hour. Try to shoot something at 40, 50 miles, moving at 40, 50 miles per hour.
Think about you know what you should do? You know what you should do? Just as a practice. Get a drone and try to land a drone on a car driving 50 miles an hour. See if you can do it.
It'll take some time. I'm sure somebody does it.
No, I'm sure somebody can do it, but like
it's hard though.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not easy.
Practice and whatnot,
right? Like
and stop it. And keep it there.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
That would be like a real world scenario.
I never thought of it the ship actually moving. You landing. I always just imagine the ship is just stationary.
It has to move because it has to bring wind across the flight deck. Because remember, the planes lift.
Yeah, so you need the wind.
The whole theory of lift is you need the wind
the
going
wind.
across the wings. So you need to have wind flowing across the flight deck for when it lands, it could take back off again because
Otherwise
there's no runway, brother.
Otherwise, you can't take off.
Yeah, there's no runway. You need
like that
room.
thing-
You need room for a runway, and if you're coming in at 40, 50 knots of wind coming across, so when you hit that deck, land, and then you have full power when you land, you just take right back off. You'll see them like they dip a little bit.
Yeah, no,
before
definitely.
they go off.
I mean, I even sometimes where they're like shaky, they're like going up and down,
Yeah, and
left
that's
and
if
right.
then that's like just if you have headwind. Never mind if there's any sort of like crosswind coming.
Well, that's why you have to keep moving. So now,
if you have any little bit of that's not.
Is there
easy,
ever
man.
like an environment situation where you can't land on the carrier, no matter what?
No, not at all.
They can land
Balls to the
anything.
wall, no matter what.
Not at all.
Thunderstorms.
They have to. They have to practice that.
Yeah. You're right.
Military, we practice
Every case scenario.
every case scenario
See, and
all
I've
the
said
time.
that-
That's what's so
I've said that too about
annoying, and
pilots.
what's like, wow, okay.
I've said that about pilots too because I imagine like commercial pilots, they're the simulators and they're hours and hours and hours of flight time.
Mm-hmm.
They have to practice and all of that stuff. So when it's like a little bit of rain or there's a storm or there's snow and people are like, oh, worried, I said, this is not like they have to be able to do this. Like it's not like they've never seen a storm before. Like they have to be able to land in this.
Have to.
So it's no problem.
Listen, you gotta.
There's no try it again in 10 minutes.
You got a $30 million plane, and you mean you can't land it?
Yeah. What do you
What
mean?
about the missiles on it? What about the
land it?
and if
you
the pilots on it, they gotta land.
And the best part about it is that if you can't land it, we'll find somebody who can.
Yeah.
So
they take your wings.
You know
away,
what I'm saying? If you can't land it, guess what?
In Top Gun when he lost the edge and he gave up his wing. Yeah, that can happen.
Damn.
Let's say what was it like when you finally got out of the Navy? Was that like a bittersweet moment? Were you upset?
Yeah,
it was.
Did you plan to stay longer, or you were like, I want to do my 4 or 5 years and I'm done?
I did, but that was like Clinton era, so they were closing a lot of like military bases. They were downsizing, and at that point, I was a new jet mechanic. Like I said, I didn't have a job when I came in. The recruiter was like, "Yeah, we'll get you whatever you want."
Yeah, you were a blank slate.
No, I was a blank slate. So I had to work to get to mechanic status. You have to take tests. You have to, just a couple of transfers, a couple of, long months of working someplace else to try to get your qualifications, because everything in the military is about qualifications. So
Sure.
you gotta get a certain amount of hours of this, certain amount of hours of that, and then finally made it, and I was like, wow, this is what I really want to do. This is what I literally joined for. They're like, well, we're closing that base and we're closing that area, we're closing that town. I was like, wow.
Like,
What the fuck?
That's really nothing.
Where's that sergeant who picked me up in the BMW? He said, "Me sure, no problem."
Yeah, he his ears be ringing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
His ears were ringing. So and then at that time too, like the airline industry had a couple of accidents. So work for a jet mechanic at that time.
So is that where the transition came to be in FDNY, or was that completely irrelevant?
No, everyone in the Navy has to be a firefighter. Everyone.
Oh.
Everyone.
Really?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Who's putting that shit out?
All right. Okay.
That shit goes on fire. Who's putting that out? We got missiles, we got ammunitions, we got fuel. I mean, that oil.
So you're saying it's like the training that you get being in the Navy is you're basically a firefighter.
Everyone gets firefighting training, but we do have firefighters.
Right, but everybody
ship.
that is in
But
the
you have to
Navy
know.
has to
Just
know.
like the jet plane, just like the guys who can land the plane. You gotta learn how to put a fire out.
You gotta learn. You got to learn. So when we call what general quarters are like our emergency call. So if, let's say we are in an active situation, a threat, they'll call general quarters. So if you're the mailman, you're the barber, you're the cook, all right, everyone has to go to a certain spot on the ship, don equipment, get ready.
Everything's strategic. Everything's coordinated.
A missile hits on the port side and on the the top deck, whoever was assigned to that.
Everyone's a quarterback. Everyone has to know the playbook.
Everybody.
So it's like no matter what your
and then-
position is, right? No matter what your position is on the ship, everybody knows how to do this one thing, just in case shit hits the fan. Everybody's got to know because you can't have one person not knowing what to do.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You can't have people.
You might know how to be a cook, and you might know how to be a barber, but you both know how
to put a fire out.
Right.
Because I can just imagine if there's a
first aid, anything that will require that.
That requires in wartime.
Right, in wartime.
Right?
Yeah.
If we're under attack, you all better be soldiers at this point.
Yeah,
and
you
not
can't be like frantic ants
and
running
not a
around.
barber. We're all Navy right here. Okay.
Do we? Yeah, absolutely. There's ants running around all over the place. But yeah, that's
the mindset behind it, though.
That is the mindset. But then there's some special units, like everything else. There's like special units where these guys will handle this, and this crew will handle that. So I was part of a special unit where we fought any fires that were below deck. So and
did that ever happen?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
It was like if the shit hits the fan, we're just gonna close because they have these the whole system of the ship is like if one compartment gets destroyed, you could just close that compartment off.
Just shut it off.
You could just shut it off. If you're in there fighting the fire.
They're shutting it off?
They're shutting it off.
And they don't give
they'll lose 2 or 3, 10, 15.
It's
but
just,
to save.
So what do they call it? Collateral damage?
Yeah.
That's like, it reminds me of like the Titanic when there's a scene where all the water's filling in and all mechanics down below and they'll get stuck underneath.
They left that one guy.
Shut it.
Left that one guy.
Yeah.
And they're built like that, right? They're intentionally built that way.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's like once it's shut, you can't. You're not opening it, right?
It's airtight, watertight. Once they shut it, it's not.
It's
shut, and then you see it, the big wheel.
Yeah, on the door.
I hate to ask the question, but was there ever a time when that happened? When somebody was in
on
there?
my ship? No.
Thank God.
No.
I can't imagine that. Like,
has it happened? I mean,
I'm sure it's happened because
you could start the Forrestal. The Forrestal was one.
Is that a ship?
Yeah, the Forrestal was there was a huge fire. A missile fell off one of the aircrafts, F4s, and it started a whole chain reaction of other missiles and other planes, and there's explosion after explosion after explosion.
When was
that?
This?
Is the main? I think sometime in the 60s.
Oh wow!
That's the main video they show
like
all of us.
Yeah,
is like this is what happens. This is what we're trying to prevent.
Gotcha.
And it was like. All hands, everybody.
Shit.
Yeah, they call it all hands. Everybody just grab a hose.
Yeah,
they're like
whatever
all
you
over
do
the
and
ship.
drop it.
You've been to like high-rise buildings, apartment buildings, and they have like the hose in the hallway.
Yeah.
That's everywhere on the ship,
Hmm.
everywhere. So it's kind of like you're there, you're the nearest one, just go for it. So that's what it is.
That's stuff like you don't really hear about that stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't know about it. As a civilian, you don't know about that stuff.
My worst fire was we were in port actually, and guys were welding, like the civilians were welding something, and some of the sparks fell into a whole container of life vests. And what's in the life vest?
Just caught on fire.
CO2 canisters.
Just exploded.
Yeah, so you're talking about it's like thousands of CO2 canisters going off, and the ship is steel, so the way the firefighting structure works on a ship is there's 6 sides to a ship. So you got the top, the 4 sides, and then the bottom. Each part is getting hot.
Oh yeah, I mean
each part is getting hot. So if the floor is burning, the compartment underneath is also going to start to burn. So you need a fire crew there cooling it off. You need a fire crew around and a fire crew on top. And now you're in there and they're like, we got to get in. And all you hear is these canisters. Bing, 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 bing. Inside that compartment. And we have to wait for like a slowdown.
Yeah.
Open the door and get in.
Mm. And the canisters are what, like a sprinkler system?
No, you're talking about the CO2 canisters.
Oh, the CO2 canisters.
The little, when you pop the life vest,
sure.
CO2 fills it up. Yeah, those were going off. So you had to wait for like popcorn in the microwave.
Yeah,
pop, 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 pop,
yeah.
Pop, and then go in. Yeah,
you get the noise.
Yeah, and then the way you go in is like scissor. You train for that scissor action. You go in and then you go left, you go right. And
Flying V.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was probably the most ball nauseating situation I ever been to in the military.
Ball nauseating.
You know, when you start like, you know, you get the top to the roller coaster and then you start making that
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
down.
yeah.
But this is like constant for like 5 to 10 minutes of that feeling, because you can't see, you hear them buzzing, you hear the fire raging, like you hear it burning.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear people screaming, but not screaming because they're in trouble, but just screaming like, left, right, move over here, come over here, I found it. You know, it's like, who the fuck I'm listening to?
It's chaos.
Yeah, it's
controlled chaos in a
yeah.
sense.
And then you're 19 years old, you know, I should be playing Atari. You know, I'm in here in this room.
See, that's another thing, too.
You
Could
know?
you imagine, like, so you went at 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And at 21,
right.
you came out.
I got out right before my 21st birthday.
Could you see today's 17 and 18-year-old kids doing that?
Hell no.
Well,
hell no.
Well, we
Hell
talked about
no.
it at one
Capital
of
H, too.
Yeah.
That's a
hell
capital H.
no, man.
But we did an episode about it where at the time, I didn't know who said it, but it was RFK. He said because of all the food, he's big on all the stuff that's in food and how kids are eating it. And for whatever, 10, 20, 30 years, all the chemicals that have been in all our foods that we're eating, kids today, I think 18, 19,
no energy.
70% of kids in this section can't join the military because they're
unqualified.
they're unqualified for
no energy.
Yeah.
There's no energy. Their digestion is terrible.
Yeah, he said 70% of today's young men would not qualify for the military.
Listen, I drank out of hydrants, bro.
So did I.
drank out of rusty ass.
We drank out of the hose.
We said it. We're like the last generation that did that stuff that had a real like childhood. You know, we're out. Street lights came on. You came home.
I mean, we talked about it with Nikki. I mean, there's no kids nowadays, or most kids nowadays aren't outside playing manhunt and playing basketball till 10 o'clock in the morning. They're just playing video games behind a screen.
We played basketball. We used to, when we were in high school, we all had, we first got our licenses, 16, right? Your driver's permit, 17. We would pull our cars up to the park and turn the light, because the lights would shut off.
Fuck yeah.
And we would put the headlights on in the car so we could continue to play basketball. And we would play until
we figured it out.
Yeah, we're like
we figured it out.
That's all
great.
It
was great. Now
it's a mission.
Now that you can go to a park. I remember coming back from college once and going to the park. Beautiful day in the summer. Beautiful day. It was like 80 degrees, no wind. I'm like, this is a perfect Saturday to play some basketball. I went to the park, not a soul in sight.
Yeah.
Like, and that's when that hit me. I was like,
they're playing basketball, but it's 2K.
2K.
Yeah, exactly.
Xbox.
That's when it hit me. I said, oh,
definitely.
shit,
2K.
my generation is gone.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting to see young kids, 15, 12-year-old, nothing.
But down the block from my parents' house, there's a handball court. We used to play handball, basketball, and that place used to be packed. Handball was the shit.
Yeah.
And you go there on a Saturday at 11 o'clock, and it was freaking packed. Now, like if I go see my parents now and I drive by, there's like 2 people there, 3 people there.
Shame,
I'm like, damn.
If I was home, my mother would be like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing
here?
It's too
Get
early.
out of the house.
Well, get out. You know.
And there's not enough green and brown on those jeans. Get back out there.
Yeah, I would get kicked out. Don't come back.
100%.
Don't come back.
Don't come back hurt.
Yeah.
That was a rule. Don't come back hurt. You got hurt. You just didn't come back hurt.
Or you didn't tell your
You all right?
Yeah,
I'm fine.
My mom would say, "Don't bring the
fine.
cops home. I don't care what you do. Just don't come back with the cops."
I see now. Like I used to see kids limping and swollen in school the next day. Like,
oh yeah,
nobody knew about that.
Oh yeah,
nobody.
It
was all right.
We used to play.
They would take the day off
tackle.
of school from that happened.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Oh, hangnail taken out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I got a headache.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're not.
We used to play tackle football with no pads. In November, right? Or in when everybody came off for like winter break, kind of towards like the Thanksgiving break.
Sewer cap to sewer cap.
Hell
man.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
There, at my parents' front yard, we have this big ass tree, and there's these giant roots in the front yard. And we would play football on my front lawn, and we would tackle each other, and we'd always try to avoid these big ass roots because we got tackled.
Trip hazard.
Oh my god, your shoulder got busted, your thigh, whatever.
Or if you miss and you landed on like the oil cap, like where like your septic tank cap. Because it's like hidden under the grass.
You know how many
all the grass
mailboxes
like
I
rolling
ran into?
over,
Yeah,
and it's like sitting right under there.
There was
like
a lot of cars with no side mirrors
Yeah.
either.
No, what we used to do too is
Oops.
you play like
or you
in
hit
the
some
street.
person's mailbox. You bang at someone's mailbox, and you have to like kind of fix it so they don't, see it's
What
broken.
we used to do is you see like on garbage day, everybody would have the garbage cans out. You almost like intentionally try to hit them into the garbage can because it was cool. Like he's running up and you tackle him and you both go into the garbage can.
a
And
little
it
hit
just-
stick.
It was great.
But nobody
It was
really
great.
wanted to hurt anyone because
No.
it was always even, right? You always had 8 on 8, 10 on 10.
Yeah.
You hurt one person. Now, that's it. So someone's not playing.
Yeah.
It,
Oh, yeah.
it was always that idea. Like,
And you know
we
what?
got
We
to
never
keep
really
it so we
got-
can all continue playing.
You never
know?
really got hurt. Like I remember this one time we were playing. It was a cold day, and you know how when it's really cold and that grass is almost like it's like hard,
Little frost
hard
tips.
pan. And we were playing tackle football, no pads, because why the hell not? And I remember being receiver. I ran an in, like 5 and in, or maybe 10 and in. So I'm coming across the middle. Quarterback throws the ball high, and I'm up like this to get it.
You're a victim of circumstance.
Dude,
brother.
Underneath
right
Yeah.
in the ribs. I was laying on the ground. Like wind completely knocked out of me. It's like, all right, time out. We goes get some water. I'm just
That's the water break, right?
Yeah,
That's
like-
the water
yeah.
break.
I'll never forget.
finally
we
you
played
catch your
tackle
breath and you're
football.
like, anything broken?
We
All
played-
right,
we
let's
played
go.
Tackle. We were playing tackle football, and we were playing again. I was a 9th grader playing against 10th graders, and I remember I juked the 10th grader out who was guarding me, but he was like the running back who was a beast, like nasty. And I remember juking him. When I got past him, I'm like, oh shit, got past him. That motherfucker grabbed me from behind and did me a German suplex tackle. Went like this and went like that. And my bell was wrong. And that was like the same thing. I took like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, like, let's just play. Let's just get
You know
back
what
to
they
it.
do is like in that case when it's like 8 on 8 and you got one guy that gets hit like that. All right, 7 on 7. Somebody else go sit
Yeah,
out
yeah.
5
So,
minutes.
No, you're the ref now,
You know,
right?
you
You're
sit
the
out
ref.
ref.
No,
Yeah.
you give
All
the
right.
ball in. You hand the
Are
ball
you
in
good?
now. Yeah.
Come back in now. You know.
Or you're the center that snaps the ball.
Yeah,
and
you're
just
the
standing
hiker.
there.
That's
Yeah.
it. You're the
That's
hiker.
it.
But
Official
that's-
hiker.
They don't do that nowadays. They don't know.
So the transition to FDNY, was that planned or did that just happen? How'd you get-
Right before I got out, and in '92, I took the fire department test in '92. So
Now,
it
did
was
you
like-
pass it with flying colors because you were pretty much had all the knowledge already on how to put out fires?
It wasn't a test about knowledge of firefighters. It was just more reading comprehension, knowledge of tools, knowledge of direction, stuff like that.
And you knew all this
Memorization.
stuff already pretty much.
I mean, I was a nerd growing up, so I was pretty much into school and stuff like that. So I had a knowledge about everything. And then being in the Navy, you have knowledge of tools and direction, northeast, southeast, stuff like that. So they would ask you questions like, if you were here and the fire was here, how would you get there? And they'll give you like a whole map. So,
Sure.
And then the choices would be, travel southeast on, Merrick Avenue, make a left on Johnson Street, go north.
Yeah.
So it was stuff like that. And it was like, I'll show you a picture of a screwdriver, and then they'll circle the tip of it, and it'll be like, oh, it's a, Phillips.
That was the
And
time.
then you gotta look for the choices and stuff like that. Then it was like different hammers. You got your ball peen hammer, you have your mallet, you have your regular hammer, your claw hammer, your sledgehammer, and it would be like, which one is this?
And what do you use it for, right?
No, it was just more.
Just which one
Yeah,
is-
it's just straight up knowledge like that.
So when you
know?
you get out of the Navy, you go right into
No.
No, so you took the test.
I took the test in '92. I got out in '93, and I had no clue what to do. Nothing. I was like,
I'm a jet mechanic. Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah,
now?
where am I supposed to go? So I started working for DHL,
Oh, okay.
and so I was traveling from the Bronx. My girlfriend at the time was living in the Bronx. I was traveling from the Bronx to JFK.
Now, were you
drive.
working on like DHL planes?
Nope.
Delivery.
You work in
No,
delivery.
I was a driver, man. The yellow van. Yeah, I was
They're
driving.
still around, man.
And then at the time, I was like, well, I got to do something. And then I looked up the VA, and they were like, well, they have like training for transition from military life to civilian life. Like, so they had a whole listing, and you go into the, what do you call that when that office. It's been so long. I don't even know if it's around
Like
anymore.
a job office?
Yeah, like you need help, so you go unemployment.
Unemployment office.
yeah.
Right, unemployment office, and it's like, oh, veterans over here and everybody else over here, and I
Gotcha.
was like,
Right.
I'm the only one. I'm next. I guess I'm next.
Oh, I
they'll
get special treatment. Okay.
Right, so they give you a list of companies that were hiring military vets, because it was a huge tax break at the time to hire veterans, and then there was one company that was like literally 4 blocks away from where I was living in the Bronx.
You're like, sign me up.
Yeah, I was like, it was a glazer. To be a glazer.
Like a window glazer?
Yeah.
Damn.
Glass and stuff
that's
like
a scary ass job,
yeah,
too.
oh, believe me, that was scary. So it was like, I get there, old Jewish guy, like he was like, yo, we want you to learn this trade. We want this. Like, I'm looking at like, you want the tax break, bro. That's
You don't give a shit about me.
whatever. So, but I learned a whole new trade. So
Yeah.
it was a hard.
That's a hard trade.
Yeah, it's a hard trade. It is, because you can't fuck up. You fuck a whole big piece of glass. Oh, next.
Yep.
So it was. I had some good apprentice training with some senior guys that were there, and I learned that trade. And then I was just waiting for the fire department to call me. But then there was a bunch of lawsuits, fighting over 5 points for living in the city, 5 points for this and that. So I didn't get hired until like 2000. But then I got hurt as a glazer. I cut myself on the wrist here, and I lost the feeling in these 3 fingers and all that.
Is it still gone? You don't have the feeling?
It's not fully back. It's not
crazy.
fully back, but it feels weird.
Because that's
feels stingy.
Yeah.
So I had so while I was out, I had family that were EMTs, and they were like, "Oh, you should take the EMT course and become an EMT." And so I took that, but it was like the fire department was what I was really going for. I really wanted to do that. Since I did it majority in the Navy.
Yeah.
Like my last couple of years in the Navy, I was just strictly a firefighter. That was it. I was like work 1 day, off 2. And I was stationed in Philadelphia because my ship was in the yards. It was going through a complete overhaul. And I was 2 hours away from home. I was driving home. I was like, so, aren't you in the Navy? Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. I'll be 2 days. Back. We didn't see you yesterday. I was in the Navy yesterday. Today I'm not. So just waiting, and then it was just like delay after delay after delay. And then that's when the fire department took over emergency EMS. So they merged them, and then it was like, well, the only way to get in now is to go in through EMS. So that was a second option I had to get in. So I joined the fire department EMS, and I was there for 2 years, and then they called me finally in 2000. So I went.
Damn.
And then you've been there ever since?
Ever since, yeah, I've been there.
So, like, your first year, 9/11.
Oh, shit.
First year and a half, yeah. First year and a half, 9/11, yeah.
That's right.
So, what the hell was that like?
Yeah, tell us that story.
That day, I was off. I was off that day, and this is one of those survivor's remorse type thing.
Was that just by chance? Like you just?
I was I would say it was by chance. I had a very good friend, Hector Torrado. He was my partner in EMS, and I left before him. I came in off the regular open competitive list that I was waiting for, and he came on 8 months later in the first ever fire department EMS promotion exam.
Wow.
And so he came in 8 months after that. And then at that time, the fire department was allowing us to continue keeping our EMT cert. So we were going to school. Like on our days off, we would go and retrain for our EMT to keep our certification.
Right.
Sure.
And he called me up the night before. And he was like, yo, I'm tired. I've been going at it for like 6-7 days straight, like working the firehouse, because we were new. We were, probies. We were new. 6-7 days straight firehouse, and then going for training as well. And they weren't paying us for training, so it was in order to keep the cert. In order to keep the cert, you had to go there. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna not go tomorrow." I was like, "All right." That was Monday night. I don't know what happened. I guess he wasn't going, so he picked up a tour for one of the guys in the firehouse. And then the next day it was like I'm at home. I have a 1-year-old. I'm at home and watching Jerry Springer.
Oh boy.
Heavy. That was
the shit. When you started school, that was Jerry Springer.
That was the shit. And then
you just watch it for the fights. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
give a shit about what they're talking about.
Yeah, no.
Fast forward to the fight. And then Big Steve would come out.
Big Steve, man. My hero.
Steve would come out.
So,
the best job.
I'm just, playing with my daughter. And then my wife at the time was like, there's a fire in one of the World Trade Center buildings. So I come in. I'm like a big expert now, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna take all day. I'm glad I'm not working. Those guys are gonna be less high up, like 80 stories. And I'm watching, and I see the other explosion on TV. I'm like, oh my God, this is for real. And then she starts crying, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I'm brand new. And I wasn't actually in my firehouse at the time because they still do it now, but back then you did 1 year in your original firehouse that you were assigned to, and then you would go around the city for another year at another firehouse.
And your firehouse was where, in the Bronx?
Area. My fire was 2 blocks away.
Damn.
I got assigned 2 blocks away from my fire. In the Bronx, yeah.
So
38 engine.
When that it was the second plane that you saw.
I saw the second plane hit the building right live.
Were you like, do I go in? What do I do?
I had no clue.
Because like I imagine you think like, well, shit, I'm a firefighter. Like, do I?
I have no idea what.
Do I have to go to the fire? Do I have to report? Like, what do you know?
The good thing is that flashed on the bottom was all city employees report to work, and I was like, well, my work is in Manhattan. I was assigned to a Manhattan company at that time, but my firehouse was 2 blocks away, so I ran. I left the house. She was frantic. She was losing her mind.
Sure, rightfully so.
I ran to the firehouse 2 blocks away, and you just like guys were just coming in, and they were like jumping on pickup trucks and
whatever they could get
getting their gear and stuff like that. And I said, "But my gear's not here.
Gear's in the city.
Gear's in the city. All my stuff is in the city, and I didn't want to take someone else's gear to go, so." My ex-wife at the time, she rose up in the car with the baby in the car. She was like, let's go. So we're driving down, and I jumped in. I start driving down. And as I'm driving down, I think it was the Bruckner. And you could see them.
Yeah.
Just burning right in front of you. And as I'm making the turn.
She said, let's go where? Where was she?
To my firehouse.
I
was in Spanish Harlem at the time. I was in 111th and 2nd. Which is not too bad coming from where I was. I live up in by Co-op City in the Bronx at that time. So it was a 25-minute ride, but everybody on the highway stopped. So
sure.
Yeah.
You see all cops, corrections, firefighters. We were using the service road to get through. Like she was hanging out the window holding my placard.
Yeah, but like
he's a fireman, he's a fireman.
Yeah.
So they were letting us go through. And as I was gonna make the turn to go to the 3rd Avenue Bridge because the Triborough Bridge was just shut down. I see the first building just start.
You saw it from all the way out there?
Yeah. You saw 2 buildings, and then you saw this dust, and then you saw 1 building.
Crazy.
So when I finally
saw that building go down.
Yeah, so like about 15 minutes later, I'm in front of my second assigned firehouse. And there was like 4 other guys were pulling up as well. And we had a spare engine. Like there's spare engines all around.
Fire
the
trucks?
city. Yeah. And, we just broke into, there's like a big chest about the size of this table. And inside's all the tools that go on there. They don't leave them on there, but they go on there. We just broke into that. And we just started throwing things on the rig. And then once 5 guys showed up, that was it.
So how many guys you need to run an engine?
At the time it's 4, but there was 5 that showed up. So we had a boss, we had a guy who could drive. All right, and we got 3 other guys in the
once
back.
you had listen.
So we just started heading down. Went straight down 2nd Avenue. It was clear as day. 2nd Avenue we just going down 2nd Avenue. So as we get there, now we can't even get close because of all the other police cars. Everybody's there now. So we just grab whatever we can, and we start walking towards that area. I don't remember what street we were on. Then you hear the rumble
from the second building.
The second
building. So the rumble, you hear the rumble, and we're like, "Oh shit!" And then we see this huge puff of dust and smoke coming at us, and we didn't know what it was. So we turn around, we start running the other way. And then once it's settled, like just like regrouped and just like, all right, let's go back in. And then as you're going in and like the sounds and the smell are probably what stays with a lot of us, and all you hear is our alarms. Like if we stay still for like more than 30 seconds, our Scott pack starts to go off.
What is that?
Our
alarm?
Scott pack is our breathing.
So it tells you like this air is
No, it's just saying it's a vibration. So if you stop moving for 30 seconds, it starts going off. So now we'll use the sound to come get you.
Oh, to find you if you're in trouble.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So now you hear
Everyone's thing going
Everybody.
on.
hundreds going off. And it wasn't like there was a firefighter attached to it. It was just like, I took this off because I need to run faster.
So they have it. So it's like a safety mechanism that if a firefighter goes down and stops moving
Right.
for a certain amount of time, an
goes
alarm goes off so that you can go find that guy.
Right.
It's kind of like a Find My iPhone type of thing.
Right.
You press the button and it starts ringing.
Right.
And
No button, though. It automatically does.
It automatically goes.
Automatically
Gotcha.
does. So now
Wow.
you're hearing hundreds of these going off. Because the cops have them, too. Like ESU and stuff like that have them. And as you're going, it's just like, literally, if you could describe hell, that's
what it was.
because there was things burning, there was dark smoke, there was white smoke, there was dust, there was paper. It looked like a ticker tape parade.
Probably
type
people
thing.
screaming.
No, it was eerie quiet.
Like people are just like,
Really?
I would think like kind of more like zombies, like kind of just walking around.
Yeah,
like
it was
in
just
shock.
people stunned.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I would
stunned.
imagine.
And then
So now did
people-
you went into so after the this
Yeah,
original
we
thing coming at you, you're like, well, I don't know what's coming at me. So you turned around. Once that's now you're going back into
Then
it
you go back into
to
it.
just to
what
unknown. You don't
happens.
know. You're just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
see
go
what
see
happens.
if I can find.
I mean,
anybody.
from where we were, right? A building comes down. You can't imagine what 110 stories of concrete and steel looks like.
Yeah, that's
on the ground.
It's not like a house coming down. It's
Especially if you've seen it up like that. So then, as we're getting closer, more noise, more screaming, more people coming at you, dazed and confused. Now you start like. So like in the fire department, I'm sure with any, military-minded organization like police, fire, you start seeing these wonderful vehicles. These vehicles that are like, that's your heart, the fire engine, right? The fire trucks, right? It's like that's your mangled, destroyed, crushed, just like on fire. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Did at any point did any military training kick in strategic wise? How to
Man, I'll tell you, shit kicked
yeah,
in.
just
Shit kicked
balls
in.
to the wall.
It was
Fight or flight type of thing.
It was straight up like, I don't know what to do,
But I gotta do something.
but I got to do something, but I still don't know what to do first. Because do I help?
because this is unprecedented. This is not
Right.
like a house fire.
I mean, do I help you? You come up to me and you're like, you're bleeding and this and that. But then in my mind, all of us were like, there's firefighters in that building. There's firefighters somewhere in that area that are hurt. It sucks to say, fuck you. I'm gonna go help.
Yeah, you're walking. You're
'cause,
bleeding
like,
and walking.
yeah.
Just
go
yeah,
that
You're good right now.
Yeah.
Go that direction.
So you start doing that, what we call triage. You start doing that.
Prioritization.
That prioritizing. Yeah, it's like you're all right.
Yeah.
Because you kind of think of it like, listen, like you can move, like you can walk. So just your function. You might be like bleeding or something, but go over, walk away from this.
Yeah.
Because we're going into this to try to find people that might be pinned that can't get out of here.
Right.
You can get out, so get out.
So
So you're
then
kind of- and you hate to say that to people because they're like, help me, help me, help me.
Yeah.
You're like, but you
But
don't
that
need help.
comes with experience too. Then you have the experience comes in. Like I'm new. I had a year and 4 months
Crazy.
on, so I don't know. So the experience kicks in. So these, you get your senior firefighters, your officers that are still commanding. All right, we need a crew here. We need a crew there. Let's do this now. Let's do that. It was like, basically, what do you do? What are we doing? All right. Well, grab a bucket. Grab this. Start moving this. Start moving that. And it's like, start hearing those, doo-doo, doo-doo. They're all over the place. So like, which one they all sound like they're right next to me. Like which one do you go for first? And then, you start mobilizing. Then there started being some type of command structure. Then was some type of decision making was going on, and it was sending us in waves after that. It was like waves. All right, you guys go in. All right, you guys get out. But then you start seeing the helmets on the floor. You start seeing the boots. You start seeing the jackets. With no, it's like
it's demoralizing. I imagine you're just
absolutely, absolutely. And then there's a point, I would say about an hour and a half in, where you're like, wake the fuck up, bro. That's it. There's a job to do, and that was it. And that's when you
like
see
a snap out of it type of.
Yeah, that's when you see the brotherhood, that whole camaraderie, that whole like we gotta.
Come
I
together.
don't care what's happening to me. I don't care. And that's when you see guys. That's when everybody was on the pile. They called it the pile. Everybody's in the pile. Everybody's like, I hear them.
And you're just pulling anybody out.
Yeah, anybody and everybody out at that point. Yeah, So and then there's whatever.
So you're there and you're pulling.
Yeah, and then whatever body part. It's like give them some dignity. Let's grab it.
Yeah.
Be nice with it, like
Yeah.
you don't know who that is and who it was and stuff like that. Then when you start seeing your own, that's when
That's I'm sure. I know,
when
right?
you start seeing your own, you're like, and then if you recognize them, you see the name and stuff like that, who it is, where
I
they're
can't.
from.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's a whole nother mental.
Yeah, that was
hurdle.
That was the next 4 months after that was that
Down there every day.
down there every day. Since I was a rookie or a probie, they call us.
Why is it called a probie?
Probationary.
Oh, okay.
It's a probationary firefighter, so that's why they call them probies.
Got you.
So we're new, so it's like we were the first wave. So
Yeah, you were in the thick of it.
And you were there every day for 4 months.
We all met at City Field, the parking lot there. Bust us in
Every day for 4 months.
every day. Well, every day for the first 3 weeks, and then I got hurt, and then I was out, and then they started winning waves.
How'd you get hurt?
I caught a serious infection in my balls.
From being down there?
From being down there, yeah. What happened was when I was younger, I had like testicular torsion.
Oh, I've heard of that. Is that like when they're twisted?
Yeah. And what happened is I was holding my piss for so long down there, like it backed up and got
bursted.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it was like just
Oh,
doubled
so that-
over. I just doubled over in pain and all that.
Wait, so
that's a serious
That happened because you're like going in there and
everything. It was just
you were
everything.
holding it.
Yeah, it was just everything.
Did you feel that? Did you feel that pain, or you were just like so much adrenaline that you?
It was not at first, but it was more like not someone punches you in the stomach, but you get like a very sharp pain in your groin area. And then when I was moving something, I felt it. So I felt like, of course, I just moved something.
Yeah, you probably pulled your groin.
Pulled your
groin.
But then it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And then when I went in, they were like, the hospital's not even there anymore. It's by like Gracie Mansion. Went in and the doctor said, you might have to have emergency surgery.
Shit.
Like, if you want any more kids, you got to have emergency surgery. So that was pretty serious.
No doubt.
So it was like, they're not, you're making light jokes. They do the sonogram and they looking for blood vessels. If there's no blood flowing, that's it. They're going in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, which one of those is a boy? I didn't have a son yet. So I was like, I had two daughters.
Save that one.
Yeah, I had two daughters. So it was like, that was it. And then they swelled up like softballs.
Damn.
Both of them.
Jeez, man.
And I was out for like 2 weeks. I was out. I couldn't drive. I couldn't close my legs.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I got back, that was it. Then I was down there for. It was still early, even out a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, there was
they didn't
months.
even make a scratch.
I remember being a little kid, and I remember I think like 4th or 5th grade, and I remember seeing it. My parents watched it every day, and I would always be like, "Oh, it'll be clean by tomorrow." And like, obviously, it wasn't processing fully what's going on, but I was like, "Oh, it's big, man. It'll be clean by tomorrow." And then it was like months. I'm like, "Wow, it's still smoking. Wow, there's still a lot there. Like, what is going on?"
Nah, on record, it's still the longest burning fire on record.
How long was it? How long was that?
Months until they declared like fire out. Like for us, that's big. That's like a huge statistic in the fire department. Like
Fire out.
Fire starts, fire out, fire under control.
Yeah, because that's what you train for.
So, but
I can't imagine
it took it took long because every time they found the body or body part, everything stops.
I can't imagine that.
You give those people the ultimate
respect.
So you're going in there and you're pulling like you
that.
see a hand, like somebody's hand sticking out of the rubble, and you grab their hand. And
I never did that. If I grabbed the hand, it was just the hand.
So you pulled it, and it was just a hand.
It was just a hand. Yeah.
Damn, my God.
Yeah, limbs and stuff like that.
You did that? You were.
Yeah.
I can't
What do
even.
you I guess I get at one point you're just kind of numb, like you're just going through it, like there's nothing really you can comprehend.
What? Yeah, nothing else would have shocked me.
Yeah.
While I was down there, nothing else, So you see, it's like it was just like
But on
the way you found them, how you found them, what you moved, and once you move something, and it's an indication that it's a body part, everything stops.
Every body,
not a
piece,
fucking person is moving anything at that point. Damn. And it's all about get that cop, get that fireman, get that civilian out. And if it was a cop or a fireman, straight up, the flag drape, the lineup, the bagpipe, everything. It was like that. That's it. That
now and I imagine that when you found some people alive.
Yeah.
I imagine, and we're pulling them out. What was that like?
It's
hope.
Like I can't imagine the feeling of.
I don't know about anyone else, but for me, it was like kind of like you made it.
Like you're good,
like you made it, but it's like it's hard to be happy
because you saved a life,
right? It's hard that you're happy that someone came out because
there's so much other devastation around.
Yeah, there's just so many other people.
Because like right before that, you might have pulled an arm out. Damn.
Yeah.
That's just I can't even imagine it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in his head I wish I didn't have, bro. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure. I'm 100% sure because I don't know. That's something that 99% of the people in the world don't ever deal with.
No,
I imagine
same thing with like the military, man. Like these Marines and
and
these Army guys when they come back from
PTSD.
Yeah, it's
you see some shit that
you see some shit like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
My brother-in-law being both of them NYPD, they said they've seen some. You get a call and you show up and you see some shit that.
Yeah, even still now. I mean, you talk about that was 25 years ago.
I have a buddy of mine.
I've seen even more shit.
Yeah,
yeah, more shit. Since
I have
then,
a buddy of mine that says that he showed up to a call where a guy's head was brain matter all everywhere.
Yeah,
just like, and he had to clean it up. Yeah. And you're wiping brain matter.
Yeah, and even still, as a marshal, you go and investigate, and you have the
so what does what does a fire marshal do? I know what it does, but I'm just like to ask questions to hear your perspective. What it does?
A fire marshal is an individual that investigates crimes of fire relation.
Okay.
So that if it's deemed suspicious for any reason, we investigate.
What is that called? Arson.
Arson.
Because I used to do construction sales.
Arson or fraud. I mean, arson is the felony aspect of it, and then you have the other charges after that.
Like you
fraud.
like
you burn your car.
You intentionally lit what they
light
did in
home.
Goodfellas. You look like you're lighting the fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And they intentionally
Because I remember.
I have one more last thing because I want to, I imagine that I know you said there's a lot of things, of that day that you wish you didn't see, but I imagine the feeling of when you found somebody that was alive. Like, do you try to think about those things more? Because finding somebody alive, it's like, all right, that's a good thing. I did something good.
No,
it doesn't outweigh the.
No.
Damn.
No,
because you saw more negative than positive. That's I guess
it's hard to balance it.
Yeah,
it's really hard. It was really hard, like because that's the survival remorse. Like my friend Hector. I spent about the entire morning calling his phone. It was like we all had Nextels back then.
Yeah, the chirp.
So, chirp, and I would call his phone, leave a message and stuff like that. Like, Hector, where are you? Stuff like that. So it was kind of like that. And then, you start seeing the equipment. And one of the guys I went to school with, Rooney, I remember he came up to me. It's like, we're transitioning. He was just zombie walking all over the place. And then he came up to me. He was crying. He was like, I found your mask. I thought you were dead. I was like, my mask? Forgot when I was running. I left
shit behind
and had my name on it. And you thought I was dead. Yeah.
So you're just, there was no way to compartmentalize it because your emotions are just going everywhere.
You're shot.
You're shocked.
You're shot.
So it's like, I pull one out and there's nothing, and I pull another one out it's alive, and it's like, all right, well, great, I got you alive. I got to keep
desensitized.
You're just completely.
Yeah. Well, and then you're not only thinking about that. I got a wife at home. I got a 6-year-old. I got a 1-year-old. I haven't seen them.
Mhm.
They're worried about me. You know,
Yeah, because they don't know if you're coming back.
Building 7 eventually fell down, and other buildings started falling down. So it's like there's no communication for like hours and hours and hours. So there's no way to let anyone know what's going on. You know, and the people you look to for help don't know either. So it was bad for like the first couple of days, and then once they started getting the plan together, then it eased up a little bit, and then we had like these tactical movements of searching and stuff like that. So every time they did find a body, and what I really liked was the whole ceremony part of it, you know.
Now, I
want to definitely say thank you. Like,
thank you.
Thank you very much. It's not. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that stuff, and I imagine it's not easy to relive it.
A lot of therapy, brother.
A lot of cigars, hopefully.
I do want to say, thank you.
I'm sure.
Thank you very much, just for your service in the Navy and for your service as a firefighter.
Most
and
definitely,
Appreciate it
for doing that, because that's not many people on this planet.
Because you seem like a great guy. You got a great personality.
Thank
smile
you.
a lot. You
Thank
laugh
you.
a lot. You make jokes. So unless people
that's what helps firemen.
Jokes.
Breaking balls.
Yeah,
all day long.
I would think so.
I mean, in your case, literally.
Yeah. So the side effects is I my ex-wife used to say I piss like a pregnant woman. So I got to go to the bathroom.
That's why you said that before me. When you
That's
want water
why
and
no
you're like,
water,
nah, I
yeah.
piss like,
it's an art now.
Yeah.
It's an art now.
It's like you got time thing when you do things.
Yeah.
You got time things.
Thanks God for GPS, because it's like, all right, it takes 45 minutes there. There's gonna be one bathroom break.
There's an app. There's an app for that shows you when I used to be in the city. I would travel a lot, and it's always hard to find a bathroom. And some restaurants be like, "Oh, you can't use the bathroom unless you're a customer." Yeah. So there's an apps that will say,
I show my badge all the time.
Well, that
man.
for you, you're like, let me in this motherfucker right now.
I'll piss right here, man.
Yeah.
Let me in. So it's like, oh, I gotta do a Jose. Get off the plane. It's like I get on the plane. It's like a 3-hour flight. I'm in the bathroom like 3 times the whole flight, and my guys who are with me, they see me. Oh, here we go. I was like, man, we're gonna do this for 20 years. Yep.
Like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna rip one of your balls off and let me see how you do.
And if I don't go to the bathroom, they're even in more shock. They're like, bro, you didn't go to the bathroom at all.
Back. Well, now that you said that, now I got to take a piss.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly what it is. It's like you did it. You did it to me.
So are you a Yankee fan?
Yes.
So that whole time with the Yankee Stadium, the first pitch.
I had none of that. It was not.
None of that because I'm going back to the camaraderie, type of thing. But
I was in a pile.
Yeah.
At that point,
you weren't probably even paying attention.
I will say, speaking of the camaraderie, now, granted, I was young when it happened. I was 11. Right,
speaking of pee, I'm gonna go pee right now because my bladder's about to burst.
I was. Do you want me to keep going? Or you want me to hold off? I can hold off. You want me to?
Hope it comes out all right, bro.
We'll switch to this camera angle.
Yeah.
He was 10. I was 11 when it happened. But looking back, I don't think I've ever seen since that day, or I should say since September 12th. I don't think I've ever seen our country more united.
Yeah.
On that day, in my lifetime,
the weeks after,
in my lifetime,
it was cool because they were busting us in, like they got the MTA buses, and it was like we were on there and people were decorating with flags, and as we were going, it was just like cheering.
It was
coming down the West Side Highway. It was
unbelievable. It didn't at that point. It didn't matter if you were right, if you were left, if you were in the middle, if you were black, if you were white, you were Asian, you were Hispanic. It didn't matter. Like everybody was one unit. We were one country on September 12th, and I don't think I've ever seen it. The amount of patriotism on that day, right? And then, like you said, with the first pitch, and then I remember the Super Bowl that year. It was like it was
comforting. I mean, any type of support, right? Any type of support is good when you're doing that, like positive support, not negative support. But any type of positive support at that time was good. So
tell us.
I didn't want this to be a Debbie Downer.
No. Listen.
That's
no Debbie Downer. We're just chopping it up.
But it's easier for me now to talk about it. But there was
so you said a lot of therapy. So you had to go through a lot of stuff to work through that.
There was a lot of moments where it was like
dark
moments. So
well, thank you for therapy to help you.
Thank God for that.
Help you get out of that.
Yeah.
No, because heard of people and I've known people that have gone down dark paths that couldn't get out.
Yeah. There's peer therapy, really. Like they would hire, like if I wanted to, if once I retire, I could be a peer counselor for guys who go through.
Like, listen, I've done it and I know how to get out of it. Yeah.
You know, so that helped a lot. You know, so I wasn't a heavy drinker or a heavy smoker back then, so that's not something I relied on.
Towards.
Yeah, so it wasn't.
I do think that the peer aspect of it, because I feel a lot of times when people go down these dark holes, or they feel like they're the only one that is experiencing this, right? Like they feel they don't want to admit what's going. They don't want to.
You need to be around
because
like-minded people.
They feel like nobody.
Definitely,
they're not going to understand. Meanwhile, there's a mess of other people that are going through the same shit that you're going through and have got out of it and know how to get out of it. And it's like, or even have somebody that's like we had talked about where just, being friendly. A lot of times everybody's on their phone like this all the time, right? And
now, sometimes when you're on the podcast, you don't smoke the cigar, you talk so much.
A lot of times people are on the phone like this and you walk past people and nobody has human interactions like they used to. Nobody says hi. Like get into an elevator. What's the first thing you do? You look down at your phone. Nobody says hi. But just reaching out and saying hi to somebody like, hey, I like that shirt you're wearing on today. That's a good shirt. My name is Justin. Nice to meet you. Even for the 10 seconds, right? Yeah. You don't know how much that could have an effect on that person. That person could be in such a dark place. They could potentially be so dark that that day was the day that they might want to. Yeah. I'm not going to say it, but that might be the day.
Yeah.
And because you said, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Nice shirt. I like that. They're like.
Provided hope.
So, somebody recognized. Somebody noticed me. And then they don't do it that day. And they let it go one more day.
Yeah. Firefighters, we have a weird way of support. Like if you're getting like your balls broken or they're talking about you or hazing or anything like that, it's wow, they love me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it's a guy thing.
That was like a hug.
Girls are like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I love you. Guys are like, bro, you look like a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, listen, your fucking head, you dirtbag.
That is dressed you this morning,
dude. That's 100. That is 100%.
So I look forward. I look more forward going to work than going home.
Like if a guy isn't busting your balls, they don't like you.
Yeah.
Right. That's 100% it. Guys show their love by breaking your chops, busting your balls. What the fuck? Who dress you? Your mother dress you today? You look like a freaking fairy.
It's a weird thing. Like you would go home and your family like, we love you, Dad. Yeah. You're so special. You're this, you're that, and I'm like, ugh.
Tell me I look like an asshole right now.
So then you go to the file. Sometimes you walk in, you fucking dick. Where the fuck were you?
Piece of shit, right?
Oh my God, thank you.
They love me. They really love me.
You're drinking
my son's like, Dad, I miss you. I'm like, get away from me.
You're drinking a beer or something, and they're like, hey, you drink? You want me to put a nipple on that for you? Come on, drink that fucking beer. Yeah. What are you doing? Stop being a little pansy. Drink that beer back. Go get him another one.
So where do cigars play a role in your life?
Yeah, how'd you get into those?
Because now I know you're a big cigar guy now.
The thing with cigars for me, cigars is a sport. I see
a sport.
I see it as a sport, right? So let's say you get involved, golfing. What do? You go buy all the cool shit. Right? Yeah. The shirt, the shoes, the belt, the hat.
Thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah.
So with me, cigars was like, wow, I get to have a cool lighter.
Cool I see that.
A cool cigar. Like, what are the cool cigars? Like, what is everybody into?
The cool humidor, and I got to upgrade the humidor.
It becomes competitive, right? Oh, his humidor does this, and mine does this, and stuff like that. So the sport of it was what intrigued me, and then the other part is what we're doing now.
Yeah, just the camaraderie of it.
We barely smoking because we're talking, but it's there.
Well, you don't get to smoke. We get to smoke because we get to listen to the stories.
So I get to do that. Then you have a nice drink with it. So then it's the game, right? So now you got this the sport, and now you're playing the game. Type of cigar, type of some type of beverage with it, and then your fans. Who's your fans? Who's your teammates in doing it? So that for me was what really got.
That's I've never heard the analogy of it being. There is a sport of cigar smoking. They have competitions of who can have the longest ash, who can smoke the cigar
I do
the
that.
longest.
You see, right? So that's
so they
part
have
of it.
Some actual competitions of it. But the way you're analyzing is saying that it's a sport where whenever you enter into a sport, you try to get all the stuff, right? I got to get, I'm going to do golf. Now I need to get golf clubs. I got to get the shoes. I'm going to do cigars. I got to get a lighter. I got to get a cutter. I got to get an ashtray, travel case, a humidor. Let me get more cigars.
The travel one,
So it's like you start doing all of these. You start
doing all this shit.
Right?
Like,
and then you start,
did you smoke one?
Yeah. Then you
no,
buy
I didn't.
I always like to
didn't
say,
fuck anything.
you know, so people who enjoy cigars are like hoarders because they're like, oh, I want that lighter. Oh, that's a cool lighter. I want that one too. I want that. I want this. I want that. And it's
last month I bought 5 lighters on Amazon, man. It was
and you only need one. You only need one, but you got to
no, you don't need one because the one I got it's a V cut. It's a hole punch. It's a 4-flame lighter. It's
the
big.
whole thing, yeah.
It's the whole and it holds.
Yeah, just like
it holds
ours.
a cigar too. So I was like, oh wow! And then if you buy this one's like half price. So I got that one and I got that one. You know, so it was like it just becomes like that. And then I'm into dragons. Like
do you have the dragon lighter?
I have the dragon lighter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I have that. I have Rocky Patel, the Year of the Dragon, 2024.
Okay.
I got the box.
Yep.
You know, so it's like that. So it's just like things like that.
Do we
That
have
it could incorporate
I don't think so.
something that's personal with me, and then the actual sport of smoking a cigar.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what the whole thing with cigars with me, and that's how it got started. Because
And
I
how long
stopped
you been
smoking
smoking
after
them?
9/11.
How long you been smoking cigars now?
I would say I'm going on my 10th year smoking cigars,
So
but
you're
I'm
a-
not.
so
I'm
you're a
not.
vet. You're a vet now. You're in it.
I'm vested.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I'm a vet. But I don't smoke every day.
No, neither do we.
Yeah, so it's more like, when was the last time we smoked? Right? Yeah,
It's
so
probably like a once
that,
a week
yeah.
type of thing, right?
Once or twice a week, depending on
Yeah.
the mood. So and the
And
thing
it's in the summer too. If you
but
don't,
again, back to the sport thing, right? So it's like, all right, so it's chilly outside, so I want to smoke outside because I don't smoke in my house, so I got to get an outdoor heater.
It's all bits and pieces.
Yeah.
How
But
you
then
get the things done.
I can't get plastic furniture with the outdoor heater, so I got to get a metal one. But I also like the metal one that rocks. And it was like I just start like everything now. It's like
you know you do. No, you do. I don't know if you have the space for it, but I've been trying to tell my stepbrother to do this, or not my stepbrother, my brother-in-law. Go to like Home Depot. You know those little like sheds that they sell. You get like these little tiny sheds, right? Like half the size of this. Those little pop-up sheds. They sell them for what? $1,000 or something like that. You buy one.
Don't get me started, man.
I'm telling. Listen.
Man,
I'm telling you.
He's going to Home Depot right down the block.
No,
after
I'm
this.
telling you. Listen, for like, okay, I don't know how much you're gonna go for now,
Yeah.
okay, but you can get for like maybe a couple $1,000. You can set yourself up with an outdoor space.
Smoke house, yeah.
And here's what you do: so if you set yourself up out there, right, and if you can run like a conduit, like an electrical, run some electric to it, and you put yourself a little space heater in there, and hook it up to a light on the same circuit. And then you get one of these remote control outlets, okay? Because we do it for this.
Alexa.
Or you could do Alexa, right?
yeah.
Oh, I have it already.
but what
Everything you're saying
Right,
except for the
okay.
shed.
So what you do? So you get the
I have
shed,
a fire
right?
pit.
So you get
And
the
I
shed.
built it the whole night.
So you get the shed, right? And you put the heater on, but you put a light on the same outlet. And then when you want to go out, you say, "Hey Alexa, turn on the heater," and it turns on the heater. And you look out the door. If the light comes on, you know the heater came on.
Yeah.
And then bang, you let it sit for 5, and then you can walk outside. Put yourself a little chair, put yourself a little TV, boom, you got a little outdoor.
That's what I have.
That's it.
I have a
It's freaking
Echo.
great, man.
I have an Echo back there.
It's great.
I have a whole. Yeah, I got to come up.
And
one
you
day.
gotta be, and you'd be surprised
Where are you?
how
Are you in
quickly.
the Bronx? Where are you at?
Westchester. I'm in Upper Westchester.
Oh, okay.
You'd be
I'm in.
surprised. We have that one little heater right there, right underneath the window. That little heater, that will heat this entire place.
This is nice.
That
I
will
would
heat,
envision this to be a hot tub though, an indoor hot tub. That's
do a hot tub.
yeah. That's what.
Well,
I'm
then
gonna do.
then you don't need the heater
that's
because
what I'm
his
gonna do,
dad has got a hot
So-
tub, and it's funny. His dad has said, he goes, every year I go through a vicious cycle. He goes, in the summertime I go, why the fuck do I have a hot tub? He goes, but then the winter comes and I sit in there with a bourbon with the snow coming down, smoking a cigar. He goes, this is why I have a hot tub. And then summer comes around, he's like, the fuck do I have a hot tub for? And he goes,
I do that with my
it's a
pool.
freaking circle, man.
I do that with the pool. Why the fuck do I have a pool?
Yeah, man.
Why the fuck did I put a deck around the pool? It's just like a constant battle all the time.
It is,
Why
man.
do I have that?
So you can set yourself. I've been telling my buddy to do that because that's another is when you want to smoke and it's like 2 degrees out. Like, and even with the heater, right? You sit outside, like even with a fire pit, it's still freaking cold, man. Like it's still cold. Like it heats enough, but you're like the backside of you is freaking freezing where your hands are fine. You get one of those little things up.
Yeah.
I'm
And I
telling
like-
you, watch. I'm gonna call you up. His house. He's gonna have a whole fucking thing in next week. It's
She'll
gonna be
know.
built
She'll
up.
know I'll do it. She'll know I'll do it too.
It's gonna
you
be
know?
built. The next episode's gonna be
Yeah,
in his man cave.
So but the other thing about cigars is knowing someone that smokes cigars is into it. Then it's like it's like buying their favorite. Yeah, it's like buying their favorite alcohol. So you bring a nice cigar, and then I used to be president of the Hispanic Society for the fire department. So then I started going to a lot of cigar events. And
Yeah.
that's where
Oh yeah.
a lot of the networking, the rubbing elbows with city officials, and and other leaders in PD and FD and corrections and stuff like that. So it was like I had to get my cigar game up because I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So
And what's cool with the cigar, no matter where you go, let's say you can go to some event, and if you go out, like I'm gonna go for a quick cigar, and there's another guy that comes out, smokes. You're like instant buddies. Instant buddies.
That's
100%.
That's the sport of it.
Instant buddies, right?
That's what I mean. That's the whole.
You could have
sport of
400
it,
people there, and there's like 3 guys that smoke stogies.
Yeah.
You guys are best friends
Yeah.
by the end of the night.
And then you don't talk to the guy that's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, you're like,
Oh,
nah.
hell no.
Get away
Scrap
from
that
that. You and your second
Stogies, no bogeys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stogies, no
you and your
bogeys.
secondhand smoke.
Yeah,
Get
we
out
don't
of
want
here.
that shit. You and your
Yeah.
filter, get that shit out of here, man.
That's where that ball busting comes in. You're a fucking scumbag. Get the fuck out of
So
here.
it's the same thing, and for me, the company you keep is good, and then having a female that smokes a cigar is probably the freaking sexiest thing. I
My wife
could
smokes.
really appreciate that. Like, what?
Yeah.
You smoke?
I got her into it.
Let's
I got
go.
her into
Yeah,
it. I mean,
yeah.
she doesn't smoke now, obviously, because she's pregnant. But I
Right.
got her into it, and it was a day that we slowly got her. Like she would have a couple puffs of mine, right?
Right.
And then
That's how it all starts.
And then we would
Yeah.
share one, and then she would have her own. And then there was a time, it was like last summer, we're both sitting in the pool, we're having a glass of wine, and she's got her own cigar. She takes a puff, she looks at me, and she goes, "Now I understand why you enjoy this." And I go, "Welcome to the club."
I mean,
And she's like, and then I asked her, because now she's pregnant, she doesn't smoke cigars, and I asked her, I said, "Honey, I was having a glass of wine. I was like, do you miss not having a glass of wine?" She's like, "You know what? I don't really miss the wine, but I miss having a cigar." And I was like, yes! I was like, I did it. I was like, we're here. I love it.
I converted her.
I was like, I'm in love with you more now than ever.
Up until recently, I didn't crave it, but I had to sit down and analyze it. Do I really crave the smoking of the cigar or the whole
You crave the experience.
Yeah.
the whole vibe?
It's
of it?
it's the experience.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's what it is.
This is my favorite thing to do. I love to come here, have someone on, and just talk to them and just smoke a cigar and just
It's the best
chop
part.
it up and hang out.
That's
she
the
was
best
she was
part.
telling me, she was like, so I asked her, I was like, what's this about? She was like, you're just gonna smoke cigars and talk shit. I was like,
I'm in.
I could do that.
That's it.
Well, how we met Nikki,
That's
we
it.
met her at a networking event, and she just came up like a bull in a china shop. She says, "Hey, I love cigars, and they're great for testosterone." And I was like, "I don't know who you are, but I want you on the podcast because I like your
that.
attitude."
Yeah. That's how I met her.
Yeah.
I had an event every year. We do the Hispanic Society dinner dance, scholarship dinner dance, and it was like a cop friend of ours was he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring this girl. She wants to get in to get her business going, and she has no firemen." I'm like, "Well, that is the place
Where you want to go?
to get started, because we throw like the best out of all the parties in the fire department. We throw like the best party, and that everybody comes, all races, sizes and everything."
How do we
They
get an
all come
invite?
and all that.
Yeah, how do we get an
How
invite?
do we get invited to this thing?
I'll let you know. It's
Do you
every
have to be-
October. It's in during Hispanic Heritage Month. We do the dinner dance, scholarship dinner dance. So
Listen, I'm not Spanish, but I got second cousins that are Mexican.
no, I'm telling you,
know?
everyone goes.
Okay, cool. Even better.
Everyone supports. Everybody comes out to it. I mean,
Dope.
it's a scholarship fund.
Dope.
So it's a
They got
fundraiser, so
cigars
we
there?
do it there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Done. Say less.
So we have firefighters that have like their own brand. So we ask them to donate and stuff like that. Like my
Shit,
favorite
we'll
cigars. I know
donate.
you probably don't want to hear it. I like the flavored cigars, but Rosarios.
Okay.
In
What
the
kind of
Bronx?
flavor are we
Yeah,
talking about?
Rosario, for sure.
Yeah, what kind of flavors?
They go milk cream.
Milk cream?
Milk.
You're one of them sweet guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's about this thick, and it's real. They got.
I mean,
that's
shit,
real.
we'll donate some cigars next year
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
We might even have the third one out by then. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be great.
We have a third one. What's out there? What kind of brands you have?
Well, these are both ours right here. So we have.
that's nice.
I mean, this is the one that you're smoking right here is the Blueprint. That's the first one
This
that
is
came
nice.
out.
I like this.
Yeah,
one.
more of a
Thank
medium
you.
to full-bodied cigar. There's 6 different countries in here, and then in that one came out recently. That's a milder cigar. There's 3 countries, and then we're gonna come out with a third one that is gonna have the letter P. We don't know what color. We don't know the name.
That's my name, P. That's my name, P.
But we'll have those 3, and then once those 3 come out, we'll go up a size, we'll go down a size. So then essentially it'll be nine different cigars.
Is that your nickname,
Yeah.
P?
No, that's my last name.
Prosper.
Duh.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense.
Prosper. That's
It's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good name for a cigar.
That is, and it kind of goes.
And it
with,
kind of goes with the
our
thing.
theme
So
here.
maybe it's
Yeah.
prosper or prosperity. I don't know, but we'll
Yeah, listen, man. Yours.
we'll have to get.
You can have it. No
Perfect.
copyright
We'll get that
needed.
little. Yeah, we'll
no,
get a little. You know,
no copyright.
percent
Believe
under
me,
the
I'll
table.
buy it.
Yeah.
Believe
Done.
me, I'll buy it. That's
you know what you do? You buy it and you sign it, and then when somebody's like, "Who's cigar?" I'll be like, "Oh, that's mine. I went on their show and they made me a stick."
That's it.
Make up
I'll
some
do it.
story about it.
I'll do it. Yeah.
I went on their show. That's my
Yeah.
stick. They made that for me.
Prosper. That's
about-
that's
it's
a great
about
last
support.
name.
It's a good name.
It's a hard last name.
It's a hard last name.
Oh, imagine if I didn't live up to it.
Come on, son.
Oh my God!
I just make
It's
coach
pressure.
Mr. Prosper.
Because that's not. I mean,
That's it.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't sound like too much of like an Hispanic last name. Prosper.
No, I'm half Haitian, half Puerto Rican.
Oh.
Yeah.
Half
Little
Haitian,
French
half-
twist with a Spanish. logo.
I like that.
Yeah,
'Cause I knew
yeah.
it had to be something.
Yeah. That's my heritage there.
Haitian
Half
and
yeah.
half Haitian, half
My
Puerto
father
Rican.
was Haitian. My mother's Puerto Rican. Yeah.
And Haitian is French, right? Some of the French.
It's
They,
background,
they
yeah.
dabble in it a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Dip
Because
toes in.
their language is a little
The slave owners were French.
French.
that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was. The
Huh?
slave owners were Bonaparte. So we won our independence from France during his era.
Wow.
Because their language is like
never
has
knew.
little French
It's like
background kind of.
Yeah, like you have your Spaniards Spanish, you have your Mexican Spanish, and then you have like your French language, and then you have patois.
Yeah.
Patois or Creole, they call it.
Yeah.
It's like
Creole,
a broken
What do they call
French.
it?
Creole.
Creole.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Creole.
So
I'm
like
I
the-
can't say it that way.
There's like
Yeah. Because patois is what they were speaking down in. They
the
speak
French
a lot like the
slaves in
Caribbean
Louisiana,
down there. They speak-
Louisiana, like
That-
that's
down there too, yeah.
Cajun. That's where
That's
the-
like you know who
French
speaks that?
slaves were
You know who
down
speaks
there.
that? Fucking the fuck is he's a Marvel character that was
Gambit.
Gambit. Yeah.
Gambit, I'm a Marvel head too. Man,
Yeah,
so-
when he came out with Deadpool and Wolverine, he was in there, and I was
Yeah.
just like, he came out, I'm like, the fuck is he speaking? Because
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, no
Who's your
offense.
dialect coach?
No offense to Channing Tatum, but he didn't have the greatest,
No.
I think it was like Cajun
accent.
accent. He didn't have the best. It was kind of like mumbo
He
jumbo. in there.
sounded like the guy from what's that football? Adam Sandler football.
Longest Yard?
Yeah.
No, the one. He was like the idiot football player.
Oh, Waterboy.
Waterboy,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Cajun guy.
Yeah, yeah,
That's who he sounded like.
Bobby was saying you was going. Bobby was.
We live up,
Yeah.
by and under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We live up out of that.
Well, that guy, yeah.
So what were you saying? So, what was a slave owner? What were you saying there? You said slave owner. They were slave owners, or
France.
oh,
Right?
France.
France.
Okay.
Yeah, France during the Bonaparte era.
And when was that? That was
1801. We won our independence from them. Yeah, the
uh
only country
really
that won the independence, free slaves,
from
France.
From
France.
France.
Yeah,
damn
so
history.
deep history. I had to find out a lot.
It's kind
I
of
had to
cool
find
because
out
you
a
broke
lot,
your
so.
independence from slavery and now you prosper.
See that shit?
Live long and
See that
prosper,
shit?
baby.
Shit is
That's
crazy.
Yeah, live long and prosper. I say if I'm on the phone. It was
Do you
like,
have that
how
tattooed
do you
somewhere?
spell
or
that?
no?
What? Prosper?
Live long and prosper.
No. Don't
Be
give me
sick.
ideas.
It'd be a sick tattoo, man.
Don't give me ideas.
He's gonna put that in
It's-
his man cave now.
Prosper. Pretty much anybody that knows me prospers like everywhere. There's actually a store in Jersey City called Prosper, and I took my kids there. We got all
Yeah, little. You said
shirts,
little,
hats.
Daddy owns
So,
the store. Okay?
And then in Texas, there's a town called Prosper,
yes,
Texas.
there is.
So
Yep.
I've been down there. I got their shit.
There's a
too.
town called Justin, Texas, too.
Get out.
Yeah, they make boots. My dad's got a pair of boots from there called.
It says Justin on
They're
it.
Justin.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Justin boots.
Nice. Yeah, I used
No,
to
Eric
fight.
ain't that cool.
The guys,
Easy E.
the guys in the firehouse hated when I used to come in and it said Prosper Fire Department. I wear the shirt, and it was like, "Fuck, you got your own fire department." I'm like, I wouldn't say it was my own fire department, but I'll take it.
Like,
you
yeah,
know,
I made a
so,
couple phone calls.
Yeah,
Kinda, you know,
that's
kinda-
a retire. That's my
Yeah.
like that far fetched retirement plan to go down there and live in Prosper, Texas, and like run for mayor.
And people, yeah.
Hell yeah,
That'd be
that'd be
sick.
sick.
Yeah, that's
Texas is-
like one of those far fetched.
Hey,
like,
listen,
you know,
Texas is a
yeah.
great state, man.
Yeah,
I love,
Texas
that's
is,
where my wife's from. Is from
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas is a good state.
Love it.
man.
That's
It's hot. It's hot as
Yeah.
balls in the middle of summer, but you get
Yeah,
from, like,
I'm not a.
they had she was telling me that there's like they had a record where it was like 60 something days, I think.
Last summer.
Three digits every
Yeah,
day
last
for like
summer.
60 days.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Nope.
Yeah.
100 degrees every day.
No, we live in New York. 85 one day, 37 degrees the next day.
Yeah.
No.
Mother Nature crazy up
Yeah.
here.
They want to fuck with you.
I kind of
real
like
bad.
it though. Keeps you on your toes, man.
Yeah,
I don't know whether to wear shorts and a t-shirt or a winter jacket.
Yeah, I'm not a fan favorite of winter anymore. You know, but definitely I like the 4 seasons though.
I like the
do.
four
Like
seasons.
my coat is my car.
I like.
That's
Yeah,
what
I like
that's
the 4
my coat.
seasons.
I always
because-
just say like if you're cold, just dress appropriately. Like if it's 0 degrees out, don't go out in shorts and a t-shirt. You won't be cold. You know.
The 4 seasons, you know, at least in the Northeast, when it's spring and summertime, you feel like you earned it. It's like I
I've been through
earned
some
this
shit.
motherfucker.
I've been through some shit.
Because it's been cold as hell. And now I'm
or
here.
hot as hell.
Yeah, or hot as hell.
You gotta like
Because down in Florida or Texas, you know, it's hot every day, so you don't appreciate it. But it's like when it's like March 31st and it's like 60 degrees and you roll the window down, you turn your music on, you're like, fuck yeah, I deserve this
Yeah, and
shit.
a couple months ago, you're out there at 0 degrees, your hands are freezing, you're shoveling the snow.
Yeah,
Well,
you
even
earned
now,
it, man.
it's like there's been the 70s now. It's like you know,
It's-
nobody
I don't
puts
like
their
it.
motorcycle away.
I
Nobody
don't
puts
like
their
it.
car
It
away.
hit like 80 degrees the other day. I was like, no, fuck no, man.
Well, I still have my fucking air conditioner. I'm like, it's November 1st, and I'm
Yeah.
using my fucking air conditioner still.
Yeah,
Like, what the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
is going on?
Alexa, turn the fan on.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But, yeah, no, New York is no joke. New York is no joke. But I think we're coming to the close here.
Yeah, we've
my
been
friend.
going for
Aw.
hour and 45 minutes, man.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
Hour
I could talk
45.
shit. Yeah, for real.
I'm telling you, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
That's why we do this. You never. We can sit here and it's an hour and 45 and didn't even feel.
Well,
like
you just added a whole new sport to
we could just keep going, man.
to smoking a cigar, to enjoying the
100%.
the thing of cigars. You know, it's like now it's like, do I have to get now a microphone when I'm
Dude.
attach it somewhere? Just have a microphone and just start talking and stuff like that.
Some great conversations.
Karaoke now, karaoke
There you go.
cigar.
Karaoke cigar.
I don't
That's
know.
another one you got for free too.
You know what he should do
Yeah.
is he should do a podcast and call it Prosper Puffs. That's what it is. Or the
Prosper.
Prosper Podcast. That's what this
You
is.
writing that down? You writing that down?
The Prosper Podcast. Welcome back to the Prosper Podcast.
Yeah. Where we puff.
Where we puff.
That's right.
We puff and prosper, baby.
We puff and prosper. There you go. You can take that
No,
one.
and you can keep that one.
You can
okay?
keep that one.
Fair trade. Fair trade.
A little barter, all right?
Yeah.
Prosper cigar.
Yeah,
Prosper
what does Gamba say? Okay, my friend. Okay, man. But I thank
I'm
you.
about
I
to make a
appreciate-
name for myself,
I appreciate
yeah.
the invite.
Yeah, of
you know,
course, brother.
so-
I mean, we appreciate you telling your story and your experiences, and you know, we like to give you the red carpet here and kind of just plug away any kind of events or anything that you want to promote. Shamelessly plug, we like to say anything that you want to tell the people that are listening or watching. And
I own part owner of a business where we teach people to become EMTs.
Okay.
So we kind of service like
Oh,
everywhere.
that's right.
Long
We didn't
Island.
even speak on that. We're gonna have to save that for another time.
So if anybody's interested, auraprep.com, sign up. You know, make a difference. You know, so we kind of
Aura Prep, AURA, right?
Yeah.
AURAPREP.com. Yeah, you know,
I actually
we-
had that up here, and we didn't even talk about it.
We kind of want to, you know, we decided that, you know, sometimes a lot of the schools that are out there are a little bit old school, and we try to bring a new kind of twist to learning, you know. So bring the experience that we all have, and you know, it's pretty good. We're pretty good. We're all over Long Island, all the 5 boroughs, and we're creeping upstate now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so if there's anyone that's interested in being a first responder,
Yep.
aura.com.
Auraprep.com.
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 Yeah.
Right. All you need, one-stop shopping for your
One-stop
first
shop,
responders.
man.
Yeah. So
I
live
love
long and prosper, right?
My last
That's
thing
it.
is I wanted to say, because you're a fire marshal, I used to do construction sales, and I used to do a lot of fire alarm. So we always had
Has
to get
nothing to do with us.
we always got fire marshal approval.
No, that's state fire marshal approval, not city. That's fire prevention you deal with. We just do the crimes.
Okay, maybe it's a different department then, because always
Fire prevention. It's the fire department. Fire
Okay.
department has like
fire
4 or
prevention
5
department.
different departments in it. You
So
know?
Who's the fire marshal that gets on the planes whenever you have, or is that
Air
air
marshal.
marshal?
That's air marshal, yeah.
They don't have fire marshal.
But we always used to be like, oh, motherfucker, our fire marshal's got to come. He's going to fucking bust our balls about this shit.
No, state fire marshals have that jurisdiction where
Okay.
they enforce codes.
They inspect, they
They
check
enforce codes, building codes, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We're more of you know, kind of we like to call ourselves KOP, kind of police.
kind of police.
So we're cops, but we're kind of police, and
That's
you
more
know,
fun anyway, it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely fun, and I love working with the NYPD and their units to help us a lot. So we deal with them a lot on almost every case, you know. So it's cool. It's cool catching them bad guys.
Yeah, that's
you
what it's
know?
all
So,
about.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Getting
That's all
those
it is. So,
motherfuckers. You know, I am a little pyro myself. I do like to see things on fire, so hopefully.
La, 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 la.
When I was younger,
We all have that. I mean, you have to have a little bit of that in you to do.
Hey,
the
listen,
job
I
that
love
we do.
a good fire pit. I love a good.
I mean,
fire
for his
pit.
wedding, we were upstate. And we had these fucking massive logs. Like, he had to get
Dude.
approval and everything. But
That's where you get those fire marshals.
those
Yeah.
these things were like huge tree trunks, and it was like a
The fire-
24-foot fire pit.
Yeah, it was like a 20-foot flame.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It had it was like a 12-foot logs that they put into like this gigantic teepee, and he said that you have to get the approval from the fire marshal, because when they light it, they see a huge smoke signal
outside of New York City. That's
Yeah.
a fire marshal.
So we got, and it was hot, awesome. It was great. Smoking a cigar at the end of the night for my wedding day. Smoking a great cigar. All my friends around, we all had Marshall, sticking your Marshall. And then what happened was one of the logs, like, it fell. So then it just went, and then the sparks started going everywhere, and everybody's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
But it was that you had to get approval for.
Yeah. That's how that fire started in the ship. One little spark.
That's it. Just
that's it. That's all it takes.
well, they had cleared out this whole, like, it was not, in the middle of it was. I mean, we're in the middle of mountains, but they have this field,
right.
like, really cleared out, and it's all gravel.
Yeah.
And then they,
What does Smokey the Bear say?
yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah,
One
what
small fire.
Yeah.
One small fire.
Smokey
right?
the Bear.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. Is he still around? This Smokey
I'm
Bear?
old school. I'm old school, man.
No, I still remember him as a kid, but I feel like I have.
Thank you, Nikki Needles. This face this is a baby face because of her. So
She gotta keep you. She gotta keep you going. Come on,
yeah.
come on. You got the highest test she's ever seen. You gotta,
Yeah, without her. That was without her. That was
maybe she got attracted to you.
That's
She's
what that's what made it. She was like, I've never seen that number before in my life. I go, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. So
Yeah.
you don't need me? Matter of fact, I wasn't a client of hers for a while. She's like, you got to take something. You got to do something. I don't need anything.
We got to give you something to bring it down.
Yeah.
It's too high.
Right? Yeah, so, it comes down.
I think she might be dating you for research purposes. Maybe she's
Yeah,
like, there's no way this guy's doing this.
I'm a guinea pig. I'm a poster child. Like, be like him. But I'll make you like him.
An anomaly. I like that.
Yeah.
But Jose, we appreciate you coming on. We
Yes.
appreciate your service through
Thank
the
you.
Navy and FDNY, and it was great chopping up with you, brother.
Thank you. I
Hopefully you enjoyed the
appreciate it.
blueprint. I know you didn't smoke it fully, but
I'll smoke it outside.
Yeah, we'll hang out for a little bit
Yeah.
more. But again, thank you for being here, and and thank you, Nikki, for coming
Yes.
by
Thank
and
you for
bringing
the-
Jose.
Absolutely.
And as we like to say on the podcast, we don't have any cups here, but we like to say cheers, chin chin, and salute. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for listening and watching. Appreciate it, brother.